The glorious sound of high-performance engines, the sweet smell of race gas, and oh yeah, Glen Helen, feel the speed. Hello everybody, welcome to the 40th annual W World Vet Motocross Championships here from iconic and legendary Glen Helen Raceway, San Bernardino, California. My name's Jack Rapella from the Cycle Drag YouTube channel. Alongside me, a true expert from the Dirt Bike Magazine channel. This is Mark Tilley here with us. And Mark, look at these pits. This place is jam-packed. Over 1,200 entries, over 20 countries represented. We've got a show. I hope everybody out there is ready.
Yeah, I'm blown away with how big the event is this year. Great weather for it. It's nice, sunny Southern California. It's amazing how many people are here and how many people from around the world are here. I mean, every other person you come up and talk to you is from a different country, definitely from a different state, but it's amazing. Look at those pits haven't been that packed since they had nationals here watching this. So it's great. Tom White's envision, 40 years ago to bring vet racing to the world. We got to thank him. We know he's sitting up there in heaven looking down at us and smiling. So thanks to the W crew, John and Kristen Anderson, for keeping this thing going. And everybody behind the scenes, thank you very much. This event is off the hook.
Tom White's great, rich legacy lives on. This is the worldwide largest vet championship, period. It began at nearby Paris Raceway. It moved here to Glen Helen in 1992, and Bud Feldkamp and his team have just made it bigger and badder. So big shout out, Bud, Lori Wilson, Chad Turker, Tia, everybody here. It is just wonderful, guys. Take a look at these pits. They have come from far and wide. Team Canada with a strong, strong presence this year, trying to win the World Cup. They'll have to contend with a very tough USA squad. Italy. There are just so many riders here from all over. Mark, people have been training for this event all year.
Yeah, and not only the pits being packed with people actually being a part of the event, but look at that vendor row. Vendor row is packed. There's all kinds of different foods. My favorite, the Smash Burger. The Smash Burger tent down there is next level, but
I hope you didn't eat that for your moto.
I didn't, but I wanted to. But you got the Moto Whips guys, the Yamaha guys from Simi Valley, FXR, Twisted Development, Olene's, Sean Lepinovich, SLM and School. You got Asterisk 60. Our tent's down there somewhere with Nicoletti and Mike Brown and Milt from FXR, the whole FXR crew down there. So it's definitely vendor row is packed. ASV's down there. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And as we always say, look at all those vendors and make sure you support those vendors because they're supporting you.
Amen. All of our great sponsors, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast as we look at this perfectly prepped racetrack here in the heart and soul of motocross country, Southern California. You are taking a look at Mount St. Glen Helen, 35 stories to the top of that thing. That's the elevation that we'll see here today. And in terms of racing, Mark, we are going to show you both motos in the much anticipated 30-plus category. We're also going to see the World Cup, and we got some fun bonus features along the way. It's going to be a great ride here.
Yeah, and there's just the stuff that we're not showing you. There's a event for everybody. Anybody over 25 that wants to race, there is an event here. We're only able to show you a certain amount of stuff, but there is all kinds of stuff going on here. Great drone shot, boys and drone shot from above, just showing you kind of what Glen Helen does and what Glen Helen's all about. They have an amazing amount of people working here day in and day out. Lori, Bud, their whole crew. It's definitely, the amount of events that they throw on a year, and then top-notch events. So this one, just one of those in their cap. But, man, it's a big one.
Multiple categories out here for sure. Multiple ages. Now, to be a vet, technically 30 years. You have to be 1 minute older than 30 years of age, and they are checking IDs. They also have a junior vet class for 25-year-olds. But what is so cool, Mark, is there are people in their 80s racing here, and I think it is so awesome to see them. So we will get to meet some of these superstars, some of these fearless and timeless riders as this broadcast winds on. But first, let's take a look at this ADS track map by the one and only Josh Mosman, a very talented test rider for Motocross Action Magazine. Let's take you to that as Josh takes us for a lap around Story, Glen Helen Raceway.
All right, well, let's do a little track preview courtesy of myself and ADS Suspension. So thank you to ADS Suspension for sponsoring this track preview. The start, famous here at Glen Helen. Everybody knows it, but the Talladega first turn, now that is what is iconic about Glen Helen. But the big change for the track this year, instead of going left, we're turning right directly after the start. I took the inside line here. That's been the hot line so far this weekend. Then we go into what we like to call the sand section. Normally this is not right after the start. Left-hander, it's already rutted after practice this morning. Got a little jump, another dogleg left, and then over a roller, and now we're heading up the first hill of the track. I believe we call it Showy Hill here at Glen Helen. So the track was already rough, as you can see in the morning, but it is way rougher now. Glen Helen is known for being the roughest and toughest track in the world. You can see the bumps already started all the way at the top, and they go all the way down into this rutted left-hander before we head up the long Mount St. Helens. This hill doesn't look too bad right now, but believe me, it is crazy now with the racing going on. We got a sharp right rut in a rut right here at the top of the hill, difficult, and then bumps all the way down the hill. So ADS Suspension, they're not on my dirt bike, but they are on trucks, UTVs, and everything and more. And thankful to have them sponsoring this video and giving us a preview of the track. We go into the back section now. Glen Helen does not run this normally. This is what we only get for big events like the World Vet Championship off camber. This section, slippery, challenging, a lot of difficult time just trying to get traction on both tires. So then we took a left right here, and then we go up sideways across the hip jump into another section that is only here for the bigger races of the year, like the World Vet Championship. Now we head into the back section onto the Arroyo track. People like to call this the REM track, the Vet track. Well, we're calling it the Arroyo track now, and we head over here. This is the full-scale national track. People come from all over the world to ride Glen Helen for this race, and we give them their money's worth. Go on to the Arroyo track, and now it's time to head back on to the main track. This is the mini Talladega we're jumping into here, and then we head into a little tabletop before we head into another little sand section. We like to call this the creek area coming up right here at the bottom of the hill. This section, gnarly rough. It's just sand whoops and difficult time trying to keep traction on both wheels. Right-hander here, watch out for the truck tires on the inside. Got a little bit of rut action. Then we're going to take the final turn before the finish line, but the track's not over yet. We take this turn, got an inside berm option. You can see the kickers are already there, and the track's only gotten rougher since this video was recorded. Finish line, little jump, and then instead of getting off the track, we got more lap to go. Right-hander in some ruts. Got a little table here. This is a fun, flowy section of Glen Helen. You can see we got some more good ruts. Weather is perfect this weekend, which is creating some awesome lines in the track. We got a little triple roller, and then we jump over the tunnel onto the start, and that's a lap at Glen Helen.
Well, thank you, Mr. Josh Mosman, as we take a look at our version of the Hollywood sign, Glen Helen. Yeah, we're not far away from Tinseltown, but this is the mecca of speed. That's all you have to know, the heart and soul of motocross in Southern California. And Mark, that was a great lap around by Josh. I'll tell you, I would love to be out there, but I think I'm going to take this seat right here. I think this is maybe a little more comfortable and a little safer today than what we saw Mosman going over. Glen Helen's going to get rough, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that was done during practice, and it got rough, and they kind of went out there and cleaned it up a little bit and kind of went from there. But that was a great insight of exactly what it's like to ride here. Josh going pretty fast, so he's probably going about the same speed as our top level guys will be in the 30 class later on. And so it's definitely, Glen Helen is not for the faint of heart. You got lots of elevation changes, probably the most elevation changes of any track, maybe even in the world, and then it gets rough. And for the Vet Nationals, it's a little bit different kind of rough than what the normal days are here. So that was a great insight on the track.
It's going to make for some wonderful horsepower theater. But before we go any further, we mentioned that great man who we lost, Mr. Tom White, looking down from above. White Brothers Performance, which then evolved into W Performance out there. They have done so much for us. Let's find out a little bit more about our friends from W.
All right, Josh Mosman here with John Anderson of WUSA, the World Vet Championships. A special race for Glen Helen, but also a special race for WUSA. W is known for making high-quality wheels and stuff that'll make your bike look cool, but also last a lot longer on the track and give you some extra safety. But, John, explain what this race means to you guys at WUSA.
Well, you know, my late father-in-law, Tom White, started this race 40 years ago, and you knew Tom well. Yep. And this was always a passion for him and giving back to the industry and, you know, just supporting racing and all, you know. And unfortunately, it's been about 7 years now that we lost Tom. And W, we took this on in about 13 years ago as a sponsor, and really, more than anything, to honor his legacy. Yeah. And because that's what Tom would want. Yeah. So, you know, we look forward to it every year. As you've seen, the race has gotten bigger and bigger every year. Yeah. We were just chatting about that. Yeah. And it's great to see so many faces from all over the world. Awesome. It really is a world championship event. Yeah,
I've seen guys here today from Chile, Argentina, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, all over. So World Vet Championships is truly a world event. Impressive how many people are here. I haven't got an official number yet, but Glen Helen is bursting at the seams right now. So what are you guys doing? Are you selling wheels today or just showing off all the good stuff?
You know, we're just displaying and showing the different offerings that we have and some of the replica stuff for some of the teams that we are, you know, honored enough to work with in racing, but also to show, you know, folks that, hey, you don't have to be a racer necessarily to have a nice set of wheels and, you know, fix up your bike a little bit.
Yeah. And speaking on that, the W Edge wheel set, those are high quality, but also a more affordable price point too. So you don't have to buy the same stuff that the Supercross guys run. You can also have a price point set of wheels that we've tested, and they last the test of time. So Glen Helen, John Anderson, thank you guys for having us, and thanks for continuing to support this awesome race.
Well, listen, thank you very much. And again, thank you for everybody for coming out. And I want to give a special shout out to Glen Helen and quite honestly, MXA and your group, Jody. You guys have been a supporter of this race since day one, and it really means a lot to our family, and I can tell you it meant a lot to Tom. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Well, we can't thank all of our sponsors enough, and it all begins with W. Guys, if you love this coverage, do make sure you support those who support your sport. And, Mark, it could be as simple as even just a thank you. Even if you're not in the market for anything right now, just let these companies know, thanks so much for getting behind this live broadcast in this event.
Yeah, no, it could even be down to just run one of their stickers.
That's
like,
it.
Show some support. But I've been lucky enough to know the White family for a long time, and the Andersons as well. A funny thing with the Andersons is John and Kristen Anderson met at White Brothers. John was telling me a story the other day about Kristen yelling at him about his cell phone bill. And then they started talking, and they ended up getting married later on and having kids. And then the W thing came in, a few years back. And if you want some kind of wheel set, they have everything. They can do everything. Now their kids are coming in and doing stuff, and their son got to race his first race not too long ago. So it's just a racing family. And again, we can't thank Tom White enough. Like we say, he's looking down at us smiling. But man, just a visionary and a great human being when it all comes down to the moto industry.
No doubt about that, and there's so much going on here. Another thing that we're having this weekend is the Edison Die Award, and the winner and the recipient here this weekend is the one and only Doug Duboc, a man who's done so much. 1991 San Jose Supercross winner, and he's done a whole host of things. Let's find out more about Doug Duboc and this prestigious honor.
We are here with the man of the hour, the man of the day, the man of the weekend, Doug Duboc of DRD Racing, and also Doug Duboc of 28 World Vet Championships and a Supercross win. So Doug Duboc and a Supercross win. Doug Duboc is actually earning he actually already earned and is getting awarded the Edison Die Lifetime Achievement Award today at the World Vet Championships. And since I've been working at MXA and coming to this race, I believe Roger DeCoster's won it, Jody Weisel's won it, my boss, but also Jeremy McGrath, Troy Lee, a lot of iconic people in the motorcycle industry. And this year we're giving it to Doug Dubach. So we'll have a full video on the YouTube channel. You can check that out on the Motocross Action YouTube channel. But Doug, what does it mean for you to be at the World Vet Championships? This is the 40th annual running of the race, and it's kind of a big weekend for you because we'll be celebrating you in just a couple hours.
Yeah, well, it's almost surreal still, all the people coming up and congratulating me. And I've been coming here, for a lot of years, obviously. So I've seen some of the greats, that I would put in that category. And so, it's very humbling to be on that list along with so many people that I just looked up to my whole life.
Yeah. So Doug's been racing this event since 1993, but that's not as long as it's been going because it's been going for 40 years, World Vet Championship. What does it mean to you to come out here and ride this massive track that we have? We get the full enchilada today.
Yeah, I mean it's the combo plate. I think you get the rice, the beans, everything because it goes here, goes there, goes everywhere. So yeah, it's quite a track, and yeah, I mean it's great. People travel from a long ways to come to this event, so it's always good to put something out there that they're going to remember for a long time to come, at least till the next year.
Yeah. Track is massive. We're going all the way over onto the REM track today. But Doug Dubach, he won the Edison Dye Lifetime Achievement Award, and you can't win that just by being around for a long time. You have to be an exceptional guy. There's a lot of guys that have been here for a long time, but Doug stands out. Yamaha test rider, fiercely competitive on the track. We were talking about line choice this morning. He's racing today. So Doug Dubach, also owner of DRD Racing. You've been running that for a long time. We're proud to run it on our bikes as well. So Doug, thanks for being here, and thanks for tuning in. And we're excited to see how it goes today when you receive that award. Hopefully we see some tears maybe.
Well, I don't know. I think it's happened to just about everyone. So I'm not going to expect anything different. But yeah, I'll do my best to keep them to a minimum. I don't want everyone else tearing up out there. So, yeah, I know there's a lot of people, a lot of people that helped me get to where I am, and, so many that helped along the way. And so it'll be great to see some of them show up today, and it's quite an honor to be on that list again with all those greats that I've admired for my whole life.
Yeah. So a lot of people helped Doug get to where he is, but he also helped Yamaha get to where they are now by developing these bikes. Thank you guys for watching, and check out that full video on our YouTube channel.
What a well-deserved award for a true legend of motocross, Mr. Doug Dubach. Congratulations. I think it's so special that they do that here at this event and award those recipients, Mark.
Yeah, and like Doug was saying, those are legends of the sport. I'm kind of blessed in the fact that I get to be around a lot of these legends. And Doug, I actually worked at Dubach Racing Development for about 5 years doing media relations and marketing and stuff like that. So he is a competitor. Like when it comes down to it, I've gone to Loretta's with him and been a part of some of those 27 different championships, but just a great guy. The whole Dubach family, his wife Gina, his kids, it's definitely a fun thing to be a part of, but it's great to see people that I know awarded these kind of prestigious things, and then kind of look through it and go, man, I know that guy. Like I talk to him, he calls me. So it's definitely a really cool thing. Doug being a huge part of the Yamaha thing. The one thing about Doug is that he's been a part of Yamaha for so long, loyal to a lot of his other sponsors like O'Neill and 60 for the last little bit of time, even when maybe it wasn't cool to be part of those sponsors. And I know that he actually rode for Tom White when Tom White had the four-stroke team. And so Doug's been around the industry for a really long time, and you can't find very many people that don't have nice things to say about him. So, like I said, just a consummate professional, and it's great to see. Like, I mean, and this event, like with the envision of Tom White, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and having amazing people like him here.
That's right, and there are a lot of amazing people here, so get ready. We're moments away from dropping the gate, but I'll give you a little teeny preview of some of the ex-pros here. We've got Filthy Phil Nicoletti out of New York. We've got the one and only Mr. Holeshot Mike Alessi. How about somebody who many consider to be the greatest vet of all time, Mr. Mike Brown? He's here, and a whole host of other. This is going to be very, very exciting, very, very competitive. I can't wait for this first gate drop. Guys, stay with us because when we return, Moto number 1 in the World Cup will be right here, Glen Helen Raceway, San Bernardino, California. Don't go anywhere. Racing coming up next. The World Vet Motocross Championship is being brought to you by W, all things wheel.
So you've gone even further back with Boyson, and now you've been testing. So what's it like, kind of that progression with Boyson, and then what's it like now with this new prototype of the rad valve?
It's been pretty awesome. I mean, just to be part of the development of something new for Boyson is always an honor. We're on a Yamaha. Yamaha still continues to build the two-strokes. This bike has been a test bike for about a year. We're here today at Club. I think we finally got it, what we're going to put into production. It feels good in the hand. I mean, it just, when you open up that throttle, it's immediate response, and it just carries throughout bottom, mid, and top, and it's everything that you want for out of a 125, because as we all know, these things are a little slow out from the crate. Just the FMF pipe silencer and the Boyson rad valve, this thing's ripping.
Work to ride, ride to live. It's more than just a saying. It's a way of life. And when it comes to dominating the competition, there's only one name you need to know. Boyson. For nearly 50 years, we've been the centerpiece of American motocross and off-road racing, providing top riders around the globe with the factory advantage they need to win. We've spent decades perfecting our craft, testing our products in the harshest conditions imaginable, and pushing the limits of what's possible on two wheels. Visit Boyson.com today and experience the factory advantage for yourself.
Welcome back, everybody, to beautiful Glen Helen Raceway. It is the W World Vet Motocross. Jack Rapella, Mark Tilley here with you. Mark, I've got goosebumps because it is time to drop the gate on one of the most anticipated events of the year. Talking about riders here from all over the world trying to proudly represent their country.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm right there with the goosebumps. I can feel the same thing, and we're about to get into the racing and everything, all the action of the World Cup. And the World Cup is a very unique event here at the World Championships, and kind of get three different scores from 3 different ages, drop out the slowest rider, or the worst score, and kind of go from there. So it's definitely you can do different configurations, and like we were speaking about a little bit earlier, that you can have different riders from different classifications, and you don't always have to have the fastest guys. If you do have 3 ringers, you're kind of guaranteed it. But it's this event does bring people from all over the world to race this.
Yeah, that's what we were laughing about. You could put me on a team with 2 of those ringers, and we might have a chance to win. I'm not going to put you in that category because you've been flying all weekend long, doing a great job. So we look forward to your insight on this track, as Mark has been twisting a lot of laps out there. But guys, take a look at it. This renowned motocross facility, perfectly prepped. Weather was a little different than what we expect. Normally it's very, very warm here this time of year. 55 degrees this morning in San Bernardino.
It's actually great for riding. This is great riding weather. The practices are in. Everybody's ready to go. But it's one of those things to where you keep it a little bit overcast, and you don't have to drink that water all the time. You don't have to make sure you're hydrated. It kind of puts a little bit different kind of atmosphere into it. And for some of the guys coming from overseas or up north, it's kind of weather that they're used to. Like, all the guys from California are a little bit at a disadvantage right now. So it's definitely, it looks like we have some a rider having some trouble getting his bike going right there. Maybe the bike's a little cold.
Oh, they're trying to bump start it.
It looks like that's what they were doing.
Oh, man. Now that will give you some pre-race jitters if the anxiety wasn't already high enough, if your motorcycle will not start. Mark, what causes this? I mean, if it was a 2-stroke, I'd say a fouled plug, right? But that's a 4-stroke, right?
Yeah, and it could be that they're sitting there trying to start it and make it to where it kind of killed the battery. But there's going to be 3 gate drops in this particular race. There's the 30 class, the 40 class, and a 50 class. Each team has to have a rider in each age group. So we're going to see, this is probably the 30 class lining up. We got the starter, GLEN HELEN starter down there, kind of checking, make sure everybody's ready to go. So the first class that goes off the gate will be the 30 class, the 40 class after that, and the 50 class after that. So there's 3 different classifications that get scored, all for an overall win.
And here we go. We are off. Our first group headed for one of the most famous turns in motocross racing. It's the Talladega Turn 1. Up through the GLEN HELEN sign. It looks like the Kawasaki out there with the whole shot. Don't worry, we'll have names and numbers for you as this thing rolls on, but they are banging bars already here, Mark.
Yeah, I know that gas in third, going in, almost trying to make the pass for second right there. That is our buddy Giacomo Redondi from the off-road series. So
that's right. He's done a great job.
I definitely know that's him in now. He is in second. So, and then it looks like Canada right there in third. Don't know who's out front yet, but like you said, once they pass the first lap, we'll know who's there. And
the second cluster is off as well. We'll wait the third. Remember, guys, the way the scoring works, it is teams of 3, all representing different countries. You have one 30-plus rider, one 40-plus rider, one 50-plus rider. The big question of the day is, can anybody knock Italy off the top of the heap? They come in as defending champions, and with Giacomo's strong start, they look to be poised in position. But here comes our 50-plus gate drop. We are off. That'll be all 3 groups set to go. Who will get the whole shot here? Tremendous aerial coverage brought to you today as we continue to send the World Vet Motocross Championship off. Looks like a red machine.
That was a nice move into the lead on that.
No, somebody just went down. Cowie was leading for a second. Not exactly sure who that was. As I said, we'll get you names and numbers after we get some data here in our first lap, but my goodness.
The 50 guys are going after it. It looks like Giacomo might be out front now. So that is Giacomo Redondi out front for Italy, and he would be in the 30 class. So Italy looking pretty good with a guy running out front and first. And this is one of those things that you call, Giacomo would be a ringer. Like, he's definitely currently racing in the pro class off road and doing some of the Pasha 125 racing, and then we will see him later in the program in the 30 pro class.
Well, Mark, it's been since 2019 that USA was able to bring it home. I know you're in the trenches. I know you know a lot of these guys. You ride with a lot of these guys. How does the United States of America chances look this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly who's on the team. Well, there's the
Running
U.S.
second right now.
right there in second, and I think that is
the 187. As I said, we will have information for you as this one rolls on. But as we can tell you right now, Italy out front, followed closely as we take a look on the Boyson drone coverage. Tremendous aerial coverage here today.
That coverage is awesome because that's one of those things to where they're coming right back on the start straight right there. Kind of a rhythm section. We're following Team USA, but I mean the Boyson drone shot is just cool. It gets you right into the action. So what they do, they kind of go around Talladega, and it kind of slows down and funnels down into to this kind of tighter section. This is a brand new for this event. And it's definitely I rode around it in practice, and even with great track conditions, that's a tough section when you're trying to pass somebody.
When you talk about the appeal of this event, I think it's so cool because we love youth in motocross, we love the ladder system, but this one is all about guys that are getting up there a little bit in age. 25 plus is where it starts, but traditionally a vet is 30 plus. And Mark, as you know, as a guy who is, I'm not going to say you're too up there in age, you're still a young man, but you are fast, you're not 18 years old. How important is this as we take a look at the Acerbis POV shot over here? How important is this to riders that may have aged out of that 25-year-old demographic but are still out here at a very high level?
Oh, no, it's cool. Like Tom White, Alan Olson, and Jody Weisel. Tom White was the one behind this and then the four-stroke nationals as well. But this was an event that Tom kind of brought to the table and now lives through his daughter and son-in-law at W, who is the title sponsor. But I remember coming to this event when I wasn't old enough to race and coming out with my uncle Eric McKenna to race some races, and then our older test riders like Pete Murray, who's won the 60 class championship a bunch of times. And so it's a great thing. Like, Dad gets to be front and center on this weekend. If like for me with my kids, my kids they get to watch me race this weekend, so it's kind of cool, and it brings people from all over the world, and you kind of have those guys that after they retire, they want to go race motorcycles and have fun. And like Tom White being the visionary that he was in the moto industry, bringing this event, and it's huge. There is a bunch of people here. There's a bunch of motorhomes. There's people coming in from all over the world, and a lot of them are coming in just to do this particular event.
This place is packed. I mean, hats off to everybody here at Glen Helen. They do such a great job. Bud Feldkamp, Lori Wilson, Chad Tucker, and as you mentioned, the late, great Tom White. We know he's smiling down on this one. Want to thank Alan Olson, Jody Weisel, all the involvement that they have had with this event that just seems to get bigger and badder every single year. Over 1,000 riders, 20 different countries. It is the largest worldwide vet championship that there is. And right now, we're watching a great battle between Team Canada and Team USA. Team Canada really coming down strong. These countries, these teams, they take a lot of pride in this event. A lot of people gunning for USA.
Canada has a whole setup over there by the starting line, and we might be able to see it on one of the shots. But I don't believe that it shows that Giacomo's out front, and then Brock Hoyer's in second, and Brady Brimmersh is in third, but I think those two guys are flip-flopped because Brady's on a Cowie.
He's out in front.
He's in second, and then it looks like Hoyer is right behind him. So Brady's in front of Brock right now, unless Cowie and Yamaha change their colors. But so it's U.S. It goes Italy, U.S., and Canada are the top three in the 30 class, and I guess that would be the premier class, right, on the first gate drop.
Well, we've got a great battle here shaping up. This will be, there we go. Great racing all around as we head up Mount St. Glen Helens on the Acerbis POV cam. Thank you guys so much. The Suzuki rider getting around.
Well, that's on the Suzuki. That's Dakota Gardner. He's fast. He does a lot of stuff here. I didn't realize that he was a 40-year-old, but so
don't make. Hey, they will ID him. That is an important part of this event. I was talking to Tia and everybody here. They say, look, they're so strict. If your birthday is tomorrow, your birthday has to be. You have to be that age before the gate drop. That is the rule.
And I think that what we're looking at is there's 2 U.S. teams now that we're looking at so there's 2 U.S. teams. So he might be on the second U.S. team in the 30 class. So that would make a little bit more sense on why we have 2 U.S. guys. Because I'd say if he came from the 40 class and he's already up into 4th or 3rd in the 30 class, he needs to be racing the pro class later on.
It is the World Vet Cup, the nation's moto number 1. It'll be a 2-moto format. Complicated scoring, like we said, guys, 30, 40, 50. We'll let you know what country takes it all. But right now, the lead, the most important part, most important message is that man right there, Giacomo Rodondi, the 18 out of Italy, is your leader. And, boy, he looks unstoppable today.
Yeah, no, he looked really good in practice. He looked really good yesterday for practice. They had a lot of Glen Helen's pretty smart. They let these guys practice starting on Friday, I believe, and then they have your normal Saturday practices and then Sunday practices and stuff like that before the races. So Giacomo and he spends a lot of time here. When we're here testing, he's definitely doing lots of testing for himself and stuff like that. So he's definitely the 3 brothers, Gas, looking really good right now. Out front, nobody really pressuring him, and you know, you don't want to say you expect it, but we kind of do. So as he heads back up the hill on that Boysen drone shot, like, I love these drone shots. It just gives us a point of view that you don't normally get in places on a live feed. I mean, it's like that's coming down. That thing is only that bridge is only 15 feet off the ground, and that drone just flew underneath it. Like, I would fly right into the side of it. So
we got a talented team here with Ross Fitz Productions. We want to thank all of the men and women bringing you this live coverage. Hope you guys are loving it. Make sure you share with a friend, and thank all those great sponsors that you see up on our screen as well. They are the people that make this happen in conjunction with Glen Helen, and we appreciate each and every one of them. But the question remains, will Giacomo Rodondi be able to bring this one home? Is Team Italy poised to go back to back? They were able to just squeeze out Team Canada last year, and we'll see if Team USA has anything for him as we continue. But right now, Giacomo appears to be widening his lead as he takes advantage of some of this elevation here at Glen Helen. Track in just tip-top condition, as always. Mark, do you notice any noticeable changes here from what you're used to?
This track is completely different than what we're normally used to riding. You don't go up into that section. That's the Arroyo Vet track area. It's usually those 2 tracks are separate. Like right now, he's dropping back into where normally you would turn in front of those, make a right-hand turn in front of those bleachers. He's dropping back over from the other side. This section right here, this is the Budds Creek section. It's a little bit sandier. It's getting really, really rough. But it's a little sandier than the rest of the track. And then he kind of comes around and he makes this left-hand turn, and he'll go right down the start straight. That section right there is the same as what we always see here at Glen Helen. But they did do a lot of stuff right after this. He makes the right-hand turn and kind of comes back. And then it usually goes into other stuff right there. But so this is one of the U.S. teams in the 30 class, and this would be
Bryce Huffman.
Yeah.
Out of Paso Robles, California, on the Kawasaki, showing that he has the speed here. It's the big number 2 behind him. I believe this is Team Canada. This is Brock Hoyer, who we've seen. Great battle between these two shaping up.
And this might be the ringers, because Hoyer, I know, and I don't follow Canadian motocross all the time, but I know his name. So I think we're looking at those guys that they're running up front. They're kind of expected to be up there. So you come down into that area, you come kind of over the tunnel jump. Usually that's a right-hand turn, but they kind of jump over the tunnel and then come out onto the start straight. Now this whole section right here, normally you'd go and you'd make a left up the hill right there. So this is an all-new section. It's really tight, really hard to pass, and it gets really rough. So they'll do this section and then kind of come up over this little hump, and then they'll start back up the first major hill climb.
Well, this looks like a continuation of unfinished business last year, because we know Giacomo out front, Giacomo Rodondi for Team Italy, according to our live data, which is unofficial at this point, 40 and 50, I'm seeing Canadian riders out in front in both of those categories. Like I said, it was a battle last year between Canada and Italy. Could be in for more of the same here, Mark.
Yeah, well, and that Ichirbi's point of view shot right there, like, that's a really steep hill.
Oh my gosh. I can tell you about that.
Yeah.
Thanks to you. You invited me to Dirt Bike Ride Day last year. I said, I'm going to walk this thing. Big mistake.
Yeah.
You cannot walk this track. You will slide down half of it on your butt. It was cool. It gave me an education, but I thought, wow, some of these sections are so much more hard-packed than I thought. Mm-hmm. It's tough to get your footing up there, and it's so steep.
Yeah. And a lot of times in this section that the drone shot is showing you right now, a lot of times that will go kind of back up into that canyon a little bit more. This is all a unique just for this event. Jody Weisel designing the track and the crew here at GLEN HELEN making it a reality. So, like I said, this whole section right here, they jump out of there. Normally they'd make the right in front of those bleachers, but this kind of adds a new. When they had the national here, they kind of went up in this area and did some other stuff in this area. So Jody kind of bringing the nostalgia back a little bit, but like you were saying, we're seeing the Canadian guys in the 40-50 class. That could win it for him.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just the overall. We want to drive that home again. Even if Giacomo checks out and wins this thing by a wide margin, it depends what his teammates do behind him. And speaking of the number 18, he just crossed the finish line. Congratulations, Giacomo Rodondi, Italy. But let's stay with this fast finish right here as we have Team USA and Canada duking it out. Second across the line, it will be Team USA. That is Bryce Huffman and his Kawasaki. Brock Hoyer for Team Canada brings it home with a third on Team Yamaha, and we will keep an eye on this overall scoring. They're still coming in right now, the 40-plus, the 50-plus, but I can tell you if things stay the way they are now, Team Canada is sitting pretty. They're looking potentially for a 3-1-1, which would give them the overall win in this moto, but we do know that Giacomo Rodondi, Team Italy, takes a huge win here in the 30-plus category. They're all finishing. This is where all the training comes into play, all the fitness, all the endurance. Remember, 3 different classes out there, all fighting for their country here in Moto number 1. It's a 2-moto format, so we still have more to be decided later, but we still got a few more turns as they are battling in the 30 and 40 and 50 category. Wow, guys, what a finish. Well, stay with us because when we return, we're going to hear from our winning team as we still bring them in here from historic, beautiful GLEN HELEN, San Bernardino, California. Stay with us, guys. The W World Vet Motocross Championships will be right back. The World Vet Motocross Championship is being brought to you by Boysen Factory Racing Parts. Since 1972, Boysen Engineering sets the standard for leading-edge moto performance parts built for your specific make, model, year, and machine. Visit Boysen.com today and get the factory edge for your bike.
Experience the ADS advantage. Whether you're a professional racer or a weekend warrior hitting the trails, ADS has you covered. See, ADS doesn't just build world-class race shocks. We can also outfit your off-road rig with billet suspension components like our direct fit control arms, sway bar links, panhard bars, and more. So what are you waiting for? Optimize your vehicle's off-road potential with a set of new shocks and some suspension upgrades from ADS Suspension.
Boysen Factory Racing. The lifeblood of moto and off-road since 1972. Because your performance is not defined by what machine you bring to the line. It's defined by how your machine has been prepared. Set your bike apart with the ultimate look in race performance. Become what you believe in. Become Factory Racing. Work to ride, ride to live. At Boyesen, we understand that winning isn't just a goal. It's a way of life. That's why our factory racing hard parts have been the centerpiece of American motocross and off-road racing since 1972. We've spent years perfecting our craft and pushing the limits of what's possible on two wheels. Are you ready to gain the factory advantage? Visit Boyesen.com today. The podium is waiting.
Welcome back, everybody, to GLEN HELEN Raceway, San Bernardino, California. The 40th anniversary W World Vet Motocross Championship rolls on. We just concluded the World Vet Cup des Nations Moto number 1, and we got to give a big congratulations to the winning team of Moto 1, Team Canada, bringing it strong. Got to congratulate my man over here. Big congratulations goes out to Brock Hoyer. We saw you battling. This is such an interesting team event as well because you took third, 30 plus. Your guys really stepped up. So Team Canada right now ahead of everybody. How proud does that make you to come down here and represent your country like that?
Yeah, it was good. It's always been a bucket to come down here, bucket list thing. So, but we got the pep talk. Just go out, have fun, finish, try to get points, and have fun. Of course, you have a little bit of pressure. There's a lot of fast guys here in a lot of great countries, and you want to try to do your best for the team.
Well, you had a tough task because we were keeping an eye on you. Giacomo Redondi was able to win your moto. He really checked out. You were really banging bars out there with Bryce Huffman out of the United States. You think you got anything for either one of these guys in Moto 2?
Man, Redondi was flying. We were kind of pace on him, and he was just gapping us a little bit as me and Huffman were kind of charging. It was a good race. I put my wheel in him a couple times, and he was holding it strong. Man, those square edges are gnarly. They catch you off guard when you're in the roost and you take a bar swap. So I don't know, maybe Moto 2 tomorrow I'll try to redeem myself.
And through the magic of digital media, how many fellow countrymen do you have watching you out there? How many friends and family are gathered up there in the Great White North cheering on Team Canada?
Yeah, I got friends, family, my kids at home watching this, so they're cheering me on from in Canada.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you stopping in, but don't go anywhere just yet because we're going to talk to his teammates in just a second. Remember, 3 different categories, 30-plus, 40-plus, and 50-plus. So right now, I want to bring in Todd, who did a fantastic job out there. Todd in the 40-plus category actually won the thing. And again, guys, this is the combined effort of all 3 individuals. So it was a 3rd place for Team Canada in the 30-plus category. But in terms of the 40-plus category, thanks to you, it was a win. Take me through your moto out there.
Got off to a really good start there. I was battling with number 555. I'm not sure what his name is, but me and him have kind of been going at it all day today. It's been some good racing. And, yeah, I just rode a good, clean race, got the whole shot, and led the whole thing.
Now, in terms of what you guys will do for Moto number 2, it's a little bit more complicated scoring than we're used to. It takes us a few seconds to figure out who won with the combined 30, 40, and 50. Do you have an idea of what you need to do, or is it just, hey, go for broke, win this thing, or do you guys all know that, hey, we just need to make sure we're in these certain positions?
I think we just need to all go out there and do the best that we can and let the cards lay how they fall.
How did you go about selecting this team? Because it seems like Team Canada really put together an impressive group of guys.
I actually got called in last minute because a couple of the other guys got hurt, and then someone else wasn't able to make it and stuff, so it was just kind of a last-minute thing. I was already coming. This has been like a bucket list race for us to make it down here, and now that I'm 42, it's like I'm kind of like the young guy in the 40 class. So
I was going to say, 42, you're a young man for that 40 class.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. Congratulations. We wish you the best in Moto number 2, and Team Canada bringing it hard. Who you want to thank? You want to thank anybody up here?
Yeah, I want to thank Outlaw Motorsports for bringing all the bikes down and just taking care of us and just being great people.
Excellent. Well, congratulations, and we're going to talk to your teammate here in just a second as he will step in, the winner of the 50-plus category, who did a great job. Remember, guys, that's the way it works. It is a lot like Motocross des Nations, except it is Vet des Nations, and with Vet des Nations, you need a really good rider who's above the age of 30, really good rider above the age of 40, and maybe it is most difficult to find that talented rider above the age of 50. Sir, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I was born in 72. I'm pretty sure I'm 52. I didn't do the math.
Well, congratulations. You won the 50-plus category as well. You guys really helped pick up Brock as well, because Brock got into some trouble dealing with, we know Giacomo is going to be a problem, but you guys both were able to counter back and win your motos. You feel pretty confident you're going to be able to do the same here in Moto 2?
I think I got the easiest role, really. by the time you're 50, a lot of the competition peters off, so it's a little bit easier. It's a battle of attrition, I guess. Just gotta stay healthy and just give it every year. Just keep coming back.
North of 50, what does your training look like? How do you prepare for this event? Because it didn't seem like you got tired at all. Your conditioning is on point.
Well, I used to ride 6 days a week. My track is 2 minutes from work. Work ends at 4. My bike's in my van all the time. I go to the track. I moto, 45-minute moto, 6 days a week. I'm home by 5:30 for supper. But actually this year I take about 3 days off now. If I ride every day for 4 days in a row, I start going backwards. So that's really all my training is. In the winter time, and we have snow, so I go to the gym. But the summer, it's just ride. That's it.
Ride. Well, it's paying off. I know last year you guys just missed out the Team Italy, so feeling like this could be the year to put Team Canada back on top of the box?
I think so.
Awesome.
I got to give it to Skippy Mobbs. He did a great job and getting a really strong Canadian, motivating everybody and making a lot of fun to, get all the young guys out here and, giving it a go.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. We wish you all the best here in Moto 2. We'll let you get ready. We got much more coming, guys. Team Canada in a very strong and favorable position. We'll see if they can hang on. We've still got a lot coming as the 40th anniversary of the World Vet Motocross Championship rolls on after this. The World Vet Motocross Championship is being brought to you by ADS Racing Shocks. Take control.
Boysen's Carbon Tech reeds are a family of custom tunable reeds. There's a light, mid, and high tension option that allows you to basically move the power around to suit your specific type of riding, bike, or location of where you're riding. Give Boysen a call. They can give you a hand sorting out what you need. They've got 40 years of experience with this.
Whether you're a professional racer or a weekend warrior hitting the trails, ADS has you covered. Like our direct fit control arms, sway bar links, panhard bars, and more. So what are you waiting for? Optimize your vehicle's off-road potential with a set of new shocks and some suspension upgrades from ADS Suspension.
Boysen Factory Racing. The lifeblood of moto and off-road since 1972. Because your performance is not defined by what machine you bring to the line. It's defined by how your machine has been prepared. Set your bike apart with the ultimate look in race performance. Become what you believe in. Become Factory Racing.
Welcome back, everybody. An outstanding day for racing here at iconic GLEN HELEN Raceway, San Bernardino, California, as we get set for World Cup Moto 2. Right now, you're taking a live look at the track. Big shout out to the flaggers out there. There was an incident moments ago. We certainly hope everybody's okay, but I walked out Mark Tilley, and I had to compliment how on top of it the staff, the crew, and the flaggers are here, keeping everybody safe.
Yeah, no, it's definitely there's a village behind the scenes making all these things happen, and we got to also show you that you're watching racing right now. We're only bringing you a very small portion of the racing because it's sometimes a logistical nightmare. So there is classes here for just about anybody over 25 years of age in any kind of classification. So we're showing you some of the premier classes, but there is classes for just about anybody. So watching the live feed, I know you're seeing people line up and seeing people go on the track. There is other races going on than the ones that we can bring you. But hopefully in the future we might be able to do a little bit more. But it looks like the wind's picking up here at GLEN HELEN, and that kind of adds a whole nother aspect to this race, because it's going to get dry, it's going to get dusty, the track's going to develop a little bit different. So I think that gives the hometown boys a little bit of advantage going into the 30-plus pro motos and the second moto of the World Cup.
It's going to be exciting to see. And to your point about this coverage, thank you guys so much for watching live. Drop us a comment down below. Let us know where you are watching from. And Mark, I guess I'm showing that I'm of vet age, but I remember a day where I used to have to go get Dirt Bike Magazine, Motocross Action Magazine, and read about what happened months later, and now we got it live here as the magic of production and the magic of digital media brings it into everybody's living room worldwide. And I'm so excited about that. I know a lot of people watching us from a lot of different countries, because right now the competition between Team Italy and Team Canada is hot and heavy. Here's what I understand is Team Canada actually has been challenged Team Italy, right? They wanted to know. They believed that one of the individuals on that team was not who they said they were, and there's a process, there's a policy that they follow here at GLEN HELEN, and they made sure that the photo matches the passport because, hey, you never know what's going to happen out there. High-level racing, teams are going to pull out all the stops, but there is a challenge process for that.
Well, and it shows you. It just because you get older doesn't mean you get less competitive. They want to make sure they're here to win. Like we keep saying, Canada has a huge contingent down there by the start line, big haulers, all kinds of stuff. So this means a lot. And that guy was apparently, he didn't want to ride the other races. He just wanted to do the World Cup, and maybe his lap times were a little bit off, but it shows you that these guys are on top of it. They're ready to go. They want to make sure that they win for their country, and it's a great thing. I mean, Motocross Action bringing you this coverage live on their YouTube channel. Dirt Bike Magazine does the two-stroke race, and then we'll be out in Havasu next week with the NGPC off-road. So
can't wait.
If you got the technologies there to be able to bring these races live, as you mentioned, yeah, it makes it to where maybe those magazines aren't as important anymore, but we're still doing great with Dirt Bike Magazine, and then Motocross Action being our sister publication, to where people still want to see that magazine. They still want to see that paper. When you go into the bathroom, you got to have something to look at if you don't have reception or whatever. But that whole world is still live and going really strong. So it's great to see the technology and all of our production crew, the drone shots, everything that we can bring. That not too long ago, this was reserved for full-on TV specials and stuff like that. So this is an amazing thing, but there is classes for a lot of other people out there. We're just showing you what we can bring you.
Lori Wilson told me a cool story about Tom White and how traditionally vets were 30 years of age or older. Well, the story goes somebody close to Tom really wanted to be a part of this race but was only 26 years old. So that's when Tom decided, let's add junior vets. And that opened it up to a whole nother crop of riders that could come out here at 25 plus, which I think is very, very cool. The more people you can include, the better, especially when we go all the way up to 80 years old. I believe, what is the oldest here this weekend? It's got to be 84, 85 years old.
Yeah, I would say so. And they probably have an orange helmet on, because those guys are the guys that are out here every weekend. We used to call it REM with the Thompson family, with Janae and Frank and Myra running REM for many, many years, and then they decided to retire, and now it's just the Saturday morning MX at Glen Helen over on the Arroyo track. I still have to call it the REM track because that's what I know it as, but when we go into the back section, there is kind of that little section of the REM track that they get to run. But I mean, look at all of those people here. I mean, it's amazing, and it's kind of thinned out a little bit. So, you know, big vendor row, lots of people down there. It's a great thing to see. Tom is definitely smiling down at us.
Yes, it is. We are getting closer and closer to the gate drop here, Moto number 2 of the World Cup. Let's take a look at the Pro Circuit starting grid. This field is stacked. Canada versus Italy. Does the United States have an outside chance to climb into this thing?
You know what? They're a little bit behind right now, but as we saw, they got to run up there in front. I think on the first line, the 30 line, I think Giacomo's kind of got it, and we're about to – and the gate's down.
We are off, ladies and gentlemen. It's a drag race into turn 1, up into 4th, 5th gear, Talladega turn here at Glen Helen. Who's got the whole shot? Who will proudly represent their country here in turn number 2? Wow, we are bar to bar. A lot of traffic behind him. Looks like the Kawasaki rider out front, Mark.
Yeah, and it looks like that might be Giacomo coming into second place. He's gonna definitely put the pressure on and see where we go. But I think he's one of those ones that we call a ringer in this class.
Tremendous battle up the hill. Here we go. Lots of elevation here at Glen Helen. Our second gate drop. Here comes the 40-plus riders. Remember, the way this works, we have a 30-plus category, 40-plus, 50-plus. All 3 categories count for an overall score for your country. And, boy, we've got a lot of traffic in this one as well. Getting close. Trading paint. Rubbin is racing, my friend.
Well, and if you look at that, they're coming down being wide open off of Talladega. Usually the track will turn left there and kind of sweep out a little bit more. But this section on the Jody Weisel, kind of Dennis Stapleton design course.
Here we go. The 50-plus category is off. This is the one that Team Canada was so dominant in here in Moto number 1. We'll see if that's the case. Moto number 2, all of these other riders from all these other countries know how important the start is right here.
Yeah, and like you said, it takes all 3 classes, combined scores for 30, 40, and 50 to get that cup and to take home the World Cup.
Hey, did you see that landing? That is our leader right there. That was almost in fortuitous landing right there. Got a little cross-rutted. We talked about how Glen Helen will change, how it will continue to get rougher. They didn't take much time to prep before the last moto. Mark, you know better than anybody from all the laps you've turned here. How much will we see this racetrack change as the day goes on?
Oh, yeah, no, it'll be a completely different animal. And with this racing and who's on the course, the track changes even more than it normally does because it gets rough right out of the gate. So it looks like we're having a repeat of Moto 1 with Giacomo out front and getting ready to come around and complete the first lap, but kind of stretching it out a little bit. It's interesting to see where Hoyer will be. It looks like there's two Canada things. I think that's Hoyer on that and the Yamaha. So the Yamaha and the Kawasaki of the U.S. guys were the ones that were battling for position. The Kawasaki that's underneath the other Canadian team, they were a little bit farther back in the first moto.
That time by, it was Italy's Giacomo Rodondi who led the way, but the Kawasaki boys stepping up. Brady Bresmich and Bryce Huffman, second and third. Brock Hoyer up there as well on his Yamaha. Dakota Gardner in the mix, but right now, oh man,
Hoyer underneath the Talladega, making that pass on, I believe that's Brady.
Seeing a whole lot of maple leaves out there. Team Canada, last year just barely missed out to Team Italy, and second place went to Team Canada 1, third place went to Team Canada 2. Team Canada is not messing around.
Canada takes this event seriously because we have a bunch of Canadians down in the Dirt Bike magazine pit with all the guys from FXR. So, Milt from FXR down here, the owner of FXR, doing lots of racing, building his own race bikes in our garage, and just having fun. And these guys are all fun to be around.
Look at the braking bumps coming down that hill as we go up Mount St. Glen Helen's, 35 stories to the top, and it will get slippery up there. Watch them attack the downhill. Very, very aggressive is this team. Wow, look at the speed down the hill. That is amazing.
Yeah, and there's two options at the bottom. You can go inside or outside like those two riders were doing right there, and it's definitely some options on this track. And as you can see, lots of square edge bumps. And as the wind starts to blow, it will dry out, and then it'll get slippery and square edge. So, again, this track is always evolving, always throwing different stuff at the riders.
We believe it'll be about 18 minutes plus one as these riders will be put to the test. Their conditioning, their fitness, their wherewithal, their toughness. You know, moments ago it was great to talk to Mike Alessi back there in the pits, and I was asking him just what he's learned about this sport and his biggest takeaway, and he said, I hate to be offensive, I hope I don't offend anybody, but if you are soft, quote-unquote soft, motocross is not for you. You have got to have a tough, hard-nosed attitude to survive in this sport.
Yeah, definitely. These guys fall off motorcycles at high rates of speed and get back up and race a second moto. So looks like Hoyer's getting a little bit impatient back there in third place. And he's starting to get some pressure from, I believe that's the second U.S. team of Dakota Gardner coming up. And Dakota, the last couple weeks he's been riding here at Glen Helen, and Hoyer makes that pass on his fellow Canadian for second place. But Dakota Gardner is on that Suzuki, and a lot of people give him a little bit of a bad time of being a bigger guy. But, man, he rides hard, and he doesn't usually get tired. He's not afraid to throw an elbow in there and go for it. But a great guy to race with and a great guy to watch race.
Giacomo Redondi out front, but right now you're watching a great battle between second, third, and fourth. Brock Hoyer, Brady Bresmich, Dakota Gardner. Oh, look at this. Into Talladega turn. We're told they'll max him out. Some people getting him up to fifth gear on that straightaway. Crazy.
Yeah, off the start, there's nothing like a start at Glen Helen going into Talladega.
Somebody went down right there.
That looked like was that Hoyer? That was.
Oh, my goodness.
That was Hoyer going down, throwing it away, maybe giving into a little bit of that pressure of Dakota Gardner and on his Suzuki, probably one of the only Suzukis out there when it comes to especially this age group and the having to kickstart a motorcycle.
Well, that could change the complexion of this intense battle between these countries, Canada and Italy. What I'd like to throw in there, too, that I don't know if we said is Team Italy did pass all the tests. That person who was in question was 100% verified. So they are legit. Look at this pass.
The second American team, or maybe this is the first American team, with Brady going into second or into third place now.
Brady Bresmich putting some of that Kawasaki horsepower on display up the hill.
So could this be the home field advantage of the U.S. guys being able to adjust to the windier conditions and go for it? You never know.
You never know. You never know. Team USA, they won this back in 2019. They have not won it since. I think I might have to work to put together the dream team. I'll see what people in the comments think. Here's what I think for the dream team next year. Mark Tilley of Dirt Bike Magazine, Hayden Deegan, and Jet Lawrence. Let's do it. Can we make it happen, USA?
Yeah.
Come on.
More than half of that team isn't anywhere close to 30 years old.
That's true.
The other part of that team is closer to 50 years old.
That's true. That's true. We'll have to wait for him to age out a little bit as we take a look at Giacomo Redondi. He is checked out. He's got the oversized gas tank, as you mentioned, a star of the NGPC series. They're used to going 90 minutes out here. Fitness not going to be a problem for him at all as he proudly represents his country and looks to take the overall here once again. But for him, for the team win, for the country win, it's all about what are the teammates behind him doing.
Exactly. He was able to do this yesterday and check out, but it got the team tied with the Canadian team for first overall. So they're going into this second moto tied. So it's kind of a winner's take all. And they're both tied at, I believe, 5 points. So we'll definitely, Hoyer dropping back a little bit. Maybe that might change things a little bit. The U.S. with Hoyer finishing, I believe he's running in fourth right now. Yesterday he got a second, so you know what? It might open it up for the Italian team, and hey, it might even open it up for the U.S. team.
You never know, guys. We still got a long way to go and a lot to sort out. And what we've learned about at Glen Helen is until that motorcycle and rider have crossed the finish line, you never know what's going to happen here due to this ever-changing racetrack and these ever-changing conditions and this slippery, hard-packed surface.
Well, and this boys and drone footage is amazing. Like, it gets us it gives us an overview of everything, and then it gets right in there with the riders and showing us their point of view, going up these hills, coming down the hills, being down in the flat. Like, it's great perspective on, you're almost there. You're almost in riding with these guys. About the only way to get closer is to actually be on the track or be on a GoPro on their helmet.
Which I recommend, and again, I want to thank you for inviting me to the Dirt Bike Magazine Ride Day last year. My biggest takeaway that I could not pick up from this broadcast is how tough those hills are to walk. Mm-hmm. I slid the whole way down one of those hills. I mean, it is really, really tough to get your footing, and it just shows how on top of the game you have to be in terms of suspension setup, in terms of tire choice. You have to hit it all perfectly here.
Yeah, and we do a lot of testing here, as just about as much as MXA does do here, but every week, every Tuesday, every Thursday, and usually every Saturday, and sometimes even on Sunday. We race on Sunday as well out here. But it's definitely a cool thing to come to, because Glen Helen has a lot of off-road. You're only seeing the moto section of it, but there in these hills, they run a lot of different events, a lot of off-road events, and it's a great place to be able to go and test and to do stuff. And here we go. Giacomo Rodondi out for a Sunday cruise. And like we said, he'll be live on the NGPC YouTube channel next weekend from Havasu for the final event of their racing series. So it's definitely a fun thing to be able to see, and you can see all this stuff live.
And the white flag has flown. Giacomo Rodondi 1 lap away from winning this thing again. Let's give you a quick rundown as we take a look at the Acerbis POV cam. Thanks so much to them. It looks like more of the same for Team Canada behind as we again take a look at the gap that Giacomo has put on everybody. 16 seconds ahead of second place. He has done his job. He has taken his responsibility and ran with it here for Team Italy.
Yeah, no, he's doing a phenomenal job out front, and we wouldn't expect anything different from Giacomo. He's riding and training here and doing all kinds of stuff all the time. So now we'll just have to. I know that the math is way above our education and way above a lot of people's education here. So we'll look for the professionals, but everything we say is definitely unofficial. And we're not even going to try to call this one.
No, we will definitely wait till Lori or one of the astute representatives here from Glen Helen give us official word, because like you said, complicated scoring. But it's not complicated to figure out Giacomo Rodondi. He seems to have even picked up some more speed from yesterday. Do you find that at a two-day event? Are you faster on day two if you can work out some of that soreness? And is it familiarity with the track, or maybe the tweaks to the bike? What is it that makes you better on day two?
And it could be both of those. It can be that you find some lines that you didn't find the day before. Sometimes it's the weather. And being in Southern California, we're used to this type of weather where earlier it was a little bit of kind of more of a murky type overcast system that might favor the European style guys. So it could be a lot of stuff, but you can get faster that second day, especially at this age, if you can get past that soreness.
You are watching live the 40th annual W World Vet Motocross Championship. This, of course, the much anticipated World Cup. Giacomo Rodondi out of Team Italy, just a few turns away from taking the checkered flag here. We'll see if he did enough, because behind him in the 40-plus category and the 50-plus category, Team Canada is again dominant. Todd Minnie and Julian Cerny leading the way in both of those respective categories.
Yeah, and like we were saying, this is a team race. It does, every single score counts, so we'll have to see what happens to his fellow Italian countrymen and see if they can pull their weight as well.
Moto 2 from a beautiful day here at GLEN. HELEN, say hello to your winner out of Team Italy. It is Moto number 2 of the World Cup, and it is a victorious Giacomo Rodondi. And my goodness, he could have a Gatorade. He could have a picnic lunch before.
Yeah, second hasn't even come across yet.
Wow. Great job by Giacomo, putting on one heck of a performance. We got to keep an eye of where the Italy teammates in the 40-plus and 50-plus category are. They could make up any ground.
And there was second coming across.
Dakota Gardner out of Lakeside, California on the Suzuki, and Bryce Huffman as well. As we take a look at the Boyesen results, my goodness, this was hotly contested when you talk about second through fourth, but in terms of first, Giacomo Rodondi running away with it. Big congratulations to him. And what we are hearing already, they're fast, Mark.
Yeah, they're way faster than us.
Team Canada has officially won this event. How about that?
That's pretty amazing. And there is going to be some partying down there on the other side of the start straight in that huge Canadian presence.
Big high fives for all the Maple Leaf riders. We got more coming on the other side of the break. Stay with us. The World Vet Motocross Championships will be back here from GLEN HELEN. The World Vet Motocross Championship is being brought to you by AHM Factory Services, providing factory-level services for all your suspension needs.
All right, Cody, so you've gone even further back with Boyesen, and now you've been testing. So what's it like, kind of that progression with Boyesen, and then what's it like now with this new prototype of the rad valve?
It's been pretty awesome. I mean, just to be part of the development of something new for Boyesen is always an honor. We're on a Yamaha. Yamaha still continues to build the two-strokes. This bike has been a test bike for about a year. We're here today at Club. I think we finally got it, what we're going to put into production. It feels good in the hand. I mean, it just, when you open up that throttle, it's immediate response, and it just carries throughout bottom, mid, and top, and it's everything that you want for out of a 125, because as we all know, these things are a little slow out from the crate. Just the FMF pipe silencer and the Boyesen rad valve, this thing's ripping.
Boyesen's Carbon Tech reeds are a family of custom tunable reeds. There's a light, mid, and high tension option that allows you to basically move the power around to suit your specific type of riding, bike, or location of where you're riding. Give Boyesen a call. They can give you a hand sorting out what you need. They've got 40 years of experience with this.
Experience the ADS advantage. Whether you're a professional racer or a weekend warrior hitting the trails, ADS has you covered. See, ADS doesn't just build world-class race shocks. We can also outfit your off-road rig with billet suspension components like our direct fit control arms, sway bar links, panhard bars, and more. So what are you waiting for? Optimize your vehicle's off-road potential with a set of new shocks and some suspension upgrades from ADS Suspension.
Work to ride, ride to live. It's more than just a saying. It's a way of life. And when it comes to dominating the competition, there's only one name you need to know. Boyesen. For nearly 50 years, we've been the centerpiece of American motocross and off-road racing, providing top riders around the globe with the factory advantage they need to win. We've spent decades perfecting our craft, testing our products in the harshest conditions imaginable, and pushing the limits of what's possible on two wheels. Visit Boyesen.com today and experience the factory advantage for yourself.
This one?
Welcome back, everybody, to Glen Helen Raceway, San Bernardino, California. It is the 40th W World Vet Motocross Championship, and we have official results here for the World Cup. It was hotly contested. 20 different countries, 1,200 different riders, and we can say officially our winners are from the Great White North. Our neighbors to the north, congratulations, Team Canada. They just missed last year, just missed out to Team Italy, but this year it is Team Canada who takes the win. USA coming home on top of the box as well with a third-place finish. But I got to say congratulations to my man over here, Brock Hoyer. Let me be the first to present you with this, my friend. Let's get it on there. I got to know all the training, all the work you put in this moment. Look at that. Look at that. The smile says it all. Picture is worth 1,000 words. How proud are you? What are you feeling right now, my friend?
I almost thought I threw it away there when I crashed. I was in second, and I was just like, in my head, I'm just like, I just ruined this chance for us to get this. And I was so disappointed in myself, trying to catch back up. I've been sick as a dog for like 2 weeks, and just, when we're here, I'm just trying my best, and I'm happy. I'm super stoked to bring it home for Canada.
Man, big congratulations out there. It seems like, you did such a great job. Giacomo Redondi was hard to stop for sure, but you did enough. Your teammates really picked you up. What can you say? How did you assemble this dream team, 40-plus and 50-plus?
It was kind of thrown together last minute. Me and Julian Cerny were on the team for a bit, and then our plus 40 guy came, and our boy Todd Minnie from Prince George, BC, he was coming anyways to have fun, and we just kind of made an executive decision to pump him on the team and try to just have the best guys this weekend to try to bring this thing home. And those boys rode good. They performed 1-1, undefeated, and I got some upkeeping to do to redeem myself for next year.
Well, I'm going to make you smile a little more because you see this right here. Your name will be engraved on that, and that lives at Glen Helen, and that's forever, my friend. Congratulations.
Nice, man. I'm super stoked. It's my dream come true to come ride one of these, and I'm stoked to come do it. I've always trained down here as a young pro, and come do it as a vet race is a beautiful facility.
Great ride, man. Thanks so much. Team Canada victorious. We're going to hear from his teammates here in just a little bit, so stay with us. We talked about some of the older riders helping to pick up Brock. Reminds me a little bit of baseball. Brock's a great starting pitcher. Maybe he gave up a run or two, and then you bring in the shutdown closers. So if this was baseball, the setup man would be our 40-plus rider, Todd Minnie, who had a tremendous performance out there. Todd won his moto. I'd like to bring Todd in. And, Todd, I have something for you because you, my friend, have earned this. So why don't you put that around your neck? Big congratulations. And you do it for the second consecutive moto, able to win this thing. Any problems at all?
Second corner, the 555 came into me pretty hot and tried to, I don't know if it was a clean-out attempt or what it was, but yeah, it was pretty heated there for a minute, but got ahead of him and just ran a good race and was smooth and consistent, made no mistakes, and it was all good.
What's it been like with you three as a team? How long, when did you guys start training together? When did you start talking about travel plans, strategy, all those things? When does this team develop?
I would say like a month or two ago, we started talking about all the travel plans. We came together as like our Yamaha team back in Canada or whatever, and they brought the bikes down first and everything, and yeah, that's kind of how it came about.
What do you think was the key to your success that had you so dialed in? Was it your fitness, your bike, your talent?
Maybe just a little bit of all of it, I think. And I've been riding quite a bit at home and keeping up with my runs and trying, not to get old, I guess.
Well, you are. Congratulations, everybody. Todd Minnie, he is your winner in 40-plus, helping bring it home for Team Canada. And we got to meet the closer. We got to meet the man who brought it home. I was giving you the baseball analogies moments ago about the starting pitcher, the setup man. Well, if that's the case, then this is Mariano Rivera. This is the closer, because this young man, just north of age 50, was able to get it done, bringing it home with a 1-1. The veteran of the team, the one and only Julian. Congratulations. This belongs to you, my friend. Put that around your neck, wear it with pride. I know last year it was so close between you and Italy, and it was close again this year. To be able to deliver and get that first place result this year, how fulfilling is this?
It's pretty fulfilling, yeah. Like it's kind of nice because one roll, just try and win my, just focus on my heat,
And, Skippy, he took care of the team, made sure I had some really good teammates, which I had the best. So, I got to give it to him for putting all this together and getting us the first place finally.
Well, what makes this event so cool is the diversity amongst age groups, too. Brock is 20 years younger than you. So you being the veteran, you being the OG out there, what are the words of wisdom that you were giving younger Brock and even younger Todd, who's 10 years younger than you?
I don't know. I feel like a kid. I think they're probably more mature than I am, so I get my wisdom from them.
Very, very cool. Now, when you guys get back home to Canada, where's the celebration going to be? Where's the party going to be? And what's the reception going to be like when you bring the hardware back home?
Oh, well, I'll bring it home to my family, and probably they'll take me out for dinner.
Oh, congratulations, guys. Congratulations, Team Canada, getting it done. Let's hear it for them. A great job. Italy coming in second, USA third. But this year, the 40th anniversary of the W World Vet Motocross Championship belongs to Team Canada. We've still got the 30-plus gate drop coming, but before we get to that, we want to thank all of our great sponsors who make this possible, and that starts right now with our friends from Boyson.
All right, it's the Josh and Josh show. Josh Fout, my right-hand man for Motocross Action, and we are riding some Boyson Factory Racing bikes here today. Josh, what are you riding?
25 KX450. Want to check it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, let's start with the red label graphics. This is the old school graphic to match the old school canvas gear. Boyson hooked us up with the old school clutch cover and super cooler. Josh, what do you got going?
Yeah, so Boyson, very important for us. We run bikes hard. They don't call us the wrecking crew for no reason. It's because we're pretty hard on bikes. Kawasaki, Josh Fout, this is my number one guy for durability, and he's got some canvas gear on today, looking good in it. But right here, I have the 25 KTM 250 SXF, and this has got the Boyson Factory Racing billet clutch cover with also the super cooler on here as well. So Boyson Factory Racing, a pioneering brand in the motorcycle industry. Ivan Boyson came over for Europe a long time ago. 1972 is when Boyson started, and they're still going strong 52 years later. Reed valves, if you have a two-stroke, you got to thank Boyson. Boyson started the Reed valve back in the day and really pioneered power for two-strokes in our history of our sport, and now they're continuing with the rad valve. And if you own an Austrian two-stroke, KTM, Husqvarna gas, you have Boyson reeds inside of that motorcycle. Also, the super cooler, ensuring that you keep your four-stroke running smoothly, but also cool. Like I said, we run these things hot, so Boyson Factory Racing, thank you to those guys for keeping us on the track with not only performance, but also an awesome look. The Factory Racing brand can't get much better, right?
Nah, can't beat it.
Yeah. Factory Racing, thanks to Red Label Graphics also for making our 3 race bikes here look good. Josh Fout is about to head out for another moto, so good luck, man.
Right on. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Josh and Josh. And I am very proud to say I have a lot of Boyson parts on my old school KX250. I want to thank Eric and the gang. Boy, that impeller keeps it super cool. The reeds, I don't know if there's no better reeds on the planet than Boyson.
No, they make a lot of products for older two-strokes, even for some newer four-strokes. And you're going to have to hit Eric and Dog, the crew over there at Boyson, up for that CR125 that you just purchased.
That's right. I got enough work to do, that's for sure. But, another company here that we want to highlight who has done a tremendous job is AHM Factory. Let's go to that.
All right, so I just got off my moto 25 plus expert class. Now I'm still debating, is the 25 plus a vet class? I don't know. I'm going to say it's a support class, but either way, I got the win. Track is gnarly here. AHM suspension had me dialed in on my 2025 Yamaha YZ450F. I hit up Brandon and asked for him to do my KYB suspension on this bike because Brandon knows off-road. He has a lot of experience with Baja, and his guys are the best in the business when it comes to that. I'm getting ready to do an off-road race coming up here soon. And I also wanted something that was good for motocross and off-road, so Brandon gave me a setup. I won on it last weekend at Paula. I won the last moto. I just won my first moto of the weekend here at GLEN HELEN, and I'm pretty thankful to be running AHM suspension. But the guy who turned me on to AHM suspension is actually our own test rider, Dennis Stapleton. Dennis, what do you know about Brandon and his stuff?
Well, I like it because Brandon's a rider, and Brandon buys personal bikes and goes out and tests bikes, spends a lot of time in down Baja. I tested a lot of stuff. As I was getting older, I wanted to get some comfort. I kept riding all this suspension that I could ride well, but it was really rigid, really hard on the hands, and Brandon's pricings were really cheap. I went down, and before I knew him, I offered to pay for my first set of suspension and didn't go through the magazine, and pricing was good, comfort was good. He spent his time, drove out to GLEN, HELEN, made sure I was good, which was a perk of the magazine. Yeah. And overall, the project was to get the 23 Honda 450 to work. As we know, that bike was not an easy bike to get to handle good. Brandon has a lot of background with a lot of guys on the Honda off-road. My bike worked awesome, got me good finishes at Loretta's. People ride my bike and they're like, wow, this Honda works good. So overall, it was definitely the right choice to find for comfort, and he makes stuff happen quickly.
Yeah. So we're thankful to have Brandon. He's local here to Southern California. His shop's down in Yorba Linda, and HM Suspension has me winning motos. Did you win your moto?
No, I got 5th, but that was around the goal of where I thought I would be today. Mike Brown, Ryan Hughes, all the old school guys have that deep core like Mike Brown brought today. He brought the intensity. Yeah. And then you have Ryan Morris that has finesse, Supercross, edged him out for the win. Nice. And then Chris Kiefer 3rd. And Mark Tilley and myself battled for 4th, 5th, and that's about where I thought I would be.
Track is rough. I'm very thankful to have AHM suspension on my bike, so be sure to check Brandon out and get your bike dialed in.
I heard him talk about that battle with Mark Tilley over here. That's why we're blessed to have him, guys. And we're going to have more with Mark Tilley, and we're going to have more great racing coming up because the 30-plus gate drop will be next, the much-anticipated event here. All the superstars, Mike Brown, Mike Alessi, Phil Nicoletti. Don't go anywhere if you're watching us out there. In fact, do me a favor if you're watching us live. Share this with a friend and let them know we're live at GLEN HELEN Raceway for the 40th anniversary of the W World Vet Motocross Championship. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with more racing action. The World Vet Motocross Championship is being brought to you by GLEN HELEN. Feel the speed.
Cody, so you've go even further back with Boyson, and now you've been testing. So what's it like, kind of that progression with Boyson, and then what's it like now with this new prototype of the rad valve?
It's been pretty awesome. I mean, just to be part of the development of something new for Boyson is always an honor. We're on a Yamaha. Yamaha still continues to build the two-strokes. This bike has been a test bike for about a year. We're here today at Club. I think we finally got it, what we're going to put into production. It feels good in the hand. I mean, it just, when you open up that throttle, it's immediate response, and it just carries throughout bottom, mid, and top, and it's everything that you want for out of a 125, because As we all know, these things are a little slow out from the crate. Just the FMF pipe silencer and the Boyson rad valve, this thing's ripping.
Work to ride, ride to live. It's more than just a saying. It's a way of life. And when it comes to dominating the competition, there's only one name you need to know. Boyson. For nearly 50 years, we've been the centerpiece of American motocross and off-road racing, providing top riders around the globe with the factory advantage they need to win. We've spent decades perfecting our craft, testing our products in the harshest conditions imaginable, and pushing the limits of what's possible on two wheels. Visit Boyson.com today and experience the factory advantage for yourself.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the 40th W World Vet Motocross Championship. Jack Rapella, Mark Tilley here with you. And we have already crowned our winning country in the World Cup, but we still got the 30-plus to come. You're not going to want to miss that. Stay with us. I cannot wait to see who is going to win this race, this much-anticipated main event. But, guys, before we get to that, we've got a lot of people to thank and a lot of things to learn about. Earlier today, we had an opportunity to catch up with ADS Racing Shocks. Let's learn a little more about ADS.
All right, we're here with ADS Suspension here at the World Vet Championships. There's one thing that we all know, every motorcycle rider has a truck or a van to get themselves to the track, and ADS Suspension, they're here showing off their awesome high-tech suspension that's all 100% made in the USA. Every single part is made in Tucson, Arizona. The company's been around for 35 years, and they're here supporting the grassroots of motocross at the World Vet Championship. We're proud to have them here, and proud to have them supporting motocross action as well. So JC here from ADS Suspension, how cool is it to be at Glen Helen, and what kind of stuff are you showing off today?
It's awesome to be here, and thank you so much for having us over, be able to come over here and share this space with you guys and talk to people and, showcase some of the things that we got going on over at ADS in Tucson. Like you said, we're real proud of making every single part of our shocks in Tucson, Arizona. Literally every single part we manufacture there. We piece it together. Our passion and roots is from desert racing. So there's a lot of engineering that has gone on there that has come from the track and now onto the road and onto just regular recreational, getting into a lot of different markets like the UTV market, now just your regular truck for direct fitment shocks. So it's awesome. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. So we're usually talking about high-tech suspension for dirt bikes, but today we're talking about high-tech suspension for your truck or for your UTV. What kind of stuff are you showing off for everybody today?
Yeah, so I brought in, some of our race series shocks. So literally every single shock that we manufacture is a race shock. Really, we don't have anything kind of to differentiate a lower quality shock. Everything is made with the same materials, the same process, same engineering, same machinist. They make all those house parts in-house, and we just piece them together. And then in there, we've got our race series here. You can kind of see some of the internal components our race series has. Everything's machined. We have no snap ring systems on our reservoirs. Everything's just a threaded, machine part. Instead of snapping it together, we thread it in there, real nice and meaty. A lot of details that I can probably, be here all day explaining to you what the advantages of ADS are. But literally, really, is the advantage of us is that we've just been in the space for so long that our engineer has put together a package for everybody from the racetrack to just your off-road weekend warriors and onto like your daily drivers and, a little bit of off-road. So we're proud to be able to now expand and try to be out here and let people know that we're an option also, So, yeah.
Well, proud to have ADS Suspension here at the World Vet Championships.
Yeah, big thanks goes out to JC Silva and the entire team from ADS and all of our great sponsors as we continue our coverage from Glen Helen Raceway. If you have never been here, please plan your trip. And Mark, they have all kind of events here, don't they?
Yeah, they have a bunch of events coming and a bunch of events going on all the time. They run an amazing amount. It will blow your mind what Lori and her crew can do. I know that they have an event they did for the first time this year that was right before the Outdoor National Series and had a paid big purse for the pro guys, and a lot of top name pros showed up. Even some off-road guys throwing their head, with Dante throwing his hat in the ring for that race. So let's take a look at what that event is all about and how it's going to come to you this next year.
We are talking to Bud Feldkamp, the owner of Glen Helen Raceway. Last year, about this time, we announced the first ever Stopwatch Nationals. They put $10,000 up for grabs for the pros to come race the week before the Paula National to start the outdoor series. This year, you're like quadrupling down on the money and the production and going even bigger and better. Stopwatch National will once again be on Thursday. It'll be after the Salt Lake City Supercross, before the Paula National, that 1 week we have in between. Also doing the Moto Fest, Glen Helen Moto Fest, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here at Glen Helen Raceway. Huge money up for grabs on Thursday with factory riders, privateer riders. But then on Saturday, they're having a privateer invitational. Only privateer riders will be able to race, and big money up for grabs on that one. So, Bud, what's the story? Why are you putting up more of your money?
Well, I think the Stopwatch National last year, there was a concept that we came up with. The pros were out here. A lot of people were out here already on Thursday, so let's have a little bit of a race. So it turned out very well. We had a full gate. We had a nice crowd, and so now this year we want to up the game, like you said. And I thought, well, the privateers, the guys that come up here in the pickup trucks with a bike in the back, or even they put their bike on the back of a van that's on a carryall, realizing they're going to race the National, the MX National, the Motocross Outdoor National.
Yep.
And those are the guys I said, I want to do something for them. Glen Helen wants to support them. And how can we do that? Well, we thought, maybe we could sponsor them. But how do we pick who we're going to sponsor? Well, maybe we'll have a race on Saturday. We'll invite them in. It's a privateer pro invitational race on Saturday. We're going to give away $20,000 cash that day, and then give $80,000 in Glen Helen sponsorship money to privateers. So the top two in each class, the 250 and the 450, will get not only how they win that day, or how they finish. Well, I guess there'll be 1-2, because we're not going to pick somebody. They're going to have to win the race. And so 1-2 will get part of the $20,000 prize money, cash, and then they'll get also a $20,000 each one. There'll be 4 of them. Yeah. The first two in each class will get $20,000 in sponsorship, and that will be paid in cash when they race the first
nationals,
outdoor national.
Yeah.
And so Glen Helen will have 4 sponsored riders out there for the first 4 rounds of the outdoor national. So we're excited about that, and we decided, we ought to make it a weekend. Because an amateur weekend, so have people come in from all around, and I'm thinking that we could make an amateur event. And so we said, let's have an amateur event.
Yeah.
And what could we do? Well, let's make an overall champion amateur.
Yeah.
And Friday we're going to use the truck track.
Yeah.
Use motocross bikes, but you race a TT format, kind of like the old AMA, Grand National Champion.
Yeah.
Then on Saturday there'll be an amateur motocross.
Yeah.
That'll be on the major track.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday we'll have a Grand Prix, SRI type Grand Prix. That'll give double points, and then we'll give a trophy to the overall champion.
Yeah.
And he'll be the Grand National Champion of Glen Helen, if you will.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
And it'll be a reason. So, and then we'll do other things. Hopefully we'll have some other things for the kids and something going on Saturday night or whatever. But we want to have a festival.
Yeah.
So that's hence the word Moto Fest.
Moto Fest.
We're going to call it a Moto Fest.
Cool.
And again, it's be centered around the pro privateers.
Yep.
And that's where the money's going to go, and we're excited about it.
That's cool. So, kind of overview. Thursday, Stopwatch National once again. Pro and factory riders are invited. It was Brock Tickle that got the win last year. He's technically a factory rider working for Kawasaki. So factory riders are allowed to race Thursday Stopwatch National. It sounds like there'll be 2 classes.
Yeah.
As of right now, obviously we have a long time till then, so we can work it out the details. But 450 class, $10,000, 250 class, $10,000. Obviously Friday's an amateur race. Saturday will be the motocross racing plus privateer invitational. How that works, there's a lot of questionable teams that maybe like a Club MX. They're not technically the factory Yamaha team, but they do have a ton of support. So for that invitational, you'll have to apply. Glen Helen will kind of look at your sponsors and say, well, is that guy leaning more factory or is he more privateer? So Glen Helen, they will have to decide. Lori and Bud will have to decide whether a Club MX rider or a Bark Suzuki rider would tip the scale on being factory or not. But then the rest of the guys, the true privateers, can sign up. First and second place win the prize money for that day.
$20,000.
$20,000, and that'll go through the top 10?
Yeah, that'll go through the top 10, yes.
So top 10 of the privateer racing will happen, 250 class, 450 class. You can't race both classes. You can only race the class that you're signed up to race the nationals in. And then you win your prize money for top 10 in that class. If you're first or second, you get $5,000 per round. So if you go to 4 outdoor rounds, that's at $20,000. And you can't just come and win the race, take the money and go home. You have to keep racing the nationals. So technically...
You have to do 4 nationals.
At least 4, right?
At least 4. Minimum the first 4 you do.
Yeah. So you're technically helping the nationals too by bringing more guys and sponsoring them and sending them to race the outdoor nationals.
Right.
So.
We're giving 4 guys $80,000 in sponsorship.
Yeah. Pretty awesome stuff from Glen Helen. So thank you, Bud, for doing this. And obviously, once we get closer, we'll talk more and have more information on our website about the event. But right now, it's May 15th, 16th, and 17th, and 18th. So 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's a dead weekend between Supercross and the Outdoor National.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. So anything else I'm missing?
No, I think it should be a great time. Like, it's a long way off, but start planning for it, you know? And we want to get the privateer, give them some support, thank you. And because that's that's where I started. I mean, I was a privateer. I never raced the national, but I sure had a pickup truck and a bike in the back and went to the races. So,
that's cool.
And I want to give back, so that's what we're doing.
Awesome.
And I didn't point out, it will be live streamed. This event, the Pro Stopwatch National and the privateer will be live streamed.
Yeah.
And so people will be able to see it all across the country.
Yeah, if you're not local and you're not coming to the race, you can watch it live on the Motocross Action YouTube channel, so that would be pretty awesome.
Indeed. Always great to hear from the legendary Bud Feldkamp. He gets my vote for one of the greatest promoters / track owners of all time, Mark.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's going to be a live stream. Woo! So breaking news there, going to be a live stream of a couple of events at that big event, and it seems like these live streams are just kind of popping up everywhere.
Yes, they do. And when we return, we've got gate drop of the 30-plus Pro Moto. Cannot wait. Don't go anywhere. The World Vet Motocross Championship will be back right after this. The World Vet Motocross Championship brought to you by Acerbis, the perfect fit and style for every ride.
Work to ride to live. It's more than just a saying. It's a way of life. And when it comes to dominating the competition, there's only one name you need to know: Boyesen. For nearly 50 years, we've been the centerpiece of American motocross and off-road racing, providing top riders around the globe with the factory advantage they need to win. We've spent decades perfecting our craft, testing our products in the harshest conditions imaginable, and pushing the limits of what's possible on 2 wheels. Visit Boyesen.com today and experience the factory advantage for yourself.
Experience the ADS advantage. Whether you're a professional racer or a weekend warrior hitting the trails, ADS has you covered. See, ADS doesn't just build world-class race shocks. We can also outfit your off-road rig with billet suspension components like our direct fit control arms, sway bar links, panhard bars, and more. So what are you waiting for? Optimize your vehicle's off-road potential with a set of new shocks and some suspension upgrades from ADS Suspension.
right, Cody. So you've go even further back with Boyson, and now you've been testing. So what's it like, kind of that progression with Boyson, and then what's it like now with this new prototype of the rad valve?
It's been pretty awesome. I mean, just to be part of the development of something new for Boyson is always an honor. We're on a Yamaha. Yamaha still continues to build the two-strokes. This bike has been a test bike for about a year. We're here today at Club. I think we finally got it, what we're going to put into production. It feels good in the hand. I mean, it just, when you open up that throttle, it's immediate response, and it just carries throughout bottom, mid, and top, and it's everything that you want for out of a 125, because as we all know, these things are a little slow out from the crate. Just the FMF pipe silencer and the Boyson rad valve, this thing's ripping.
Boyson Factory Racing. The lifeblood of moto and off-road since 1972. Because your performance is not defined by what machine you bring to the line. It's defined by how your machine has been prepared. Set your bike apart with the ultimate look in race performance. Become what you believe in. Become Factory Racing.
Time to drop the gate on one of the much anticipated vet races of the year. It is the 30-plus pro races. We take a look at the pro circuit starting grid. This field is absolutely stacked.
Yeah, no, there's some big heavy hitters in this race. It's going to be fun to watch. We got Mike Alessi, Mike Brown, Ryan Marias out there, and that's just to name 3 heavy hitters. They're going to be going at it left and right. The track is prime. We have overcast conditions. The sun kind of came out a little bit, and we're ready to race motorcycles.
This track is in excellent condition, and we're going to find out who is going to get one of the most acclaimed, prestigious victories of the year. Here's what we know. Very, very few motocross careers go past the age of 30. That doesn't mean these guys aren't still fast, and that's why we're ready to bang bars here from iconic Glen Helen Raceway. It is time to drop the gate. We are off, racing into Talladega Turn. It's a drag race down the stretch. Who will get the whole shot here in 30-plus Moto number 1?
And that looks like a Yamaha out front coming right underneath. That was Kiefer that got to the first turn first, but Alessi comes out of the first turn first.
Living up to his name. It is Mr. Whole Shot.
Yeah, and that's Phil Nicoletti on that twisted back FXR Yamaha, right behind Alessi, and then I believe that's Lipinovich right behind him, one of Dirt Bike Magazine's test riders. And so we got lots of stuff happening right now. This ride here is going to be a battle. Alessi being a rider that's been off the national circuit for a long time. Phil just had his last race, so we're setting it up for a really good.
Look at this, Nicoletti to the outside as we're already banging bars. It's a drag race up the hill. Alessi looks back. Does he have enough horsepower? Nicoletti gets around him. What a move. Wow.
That was a strong statement right there.
He froze Alessi. Alessi looked over and just couldn't do anything about it. Perhaps wrong line choice? I don't know. Did he make a bobble? Did he make a mistake? Nicoletti was gone.
Maybe that Jamie Ellis Twisted Development YZ450 just had a little bit more for that. Looks like Alessi's on a Moto Concepts Honda. So he just kind of looked over and was like, hey, get out of my way. I'm going into first.
Man, Alessi looking back again already this morning. That's not a good sign for Mr. Holeshot. Could we potentially see maybe some arm pump creeping up? Cramping, something wrong? I mean, it's rare to see a rider look back this early, right?
Hey, if I had Nicoletti breathing down my neck and that kind of caliber, and then you get past, and then all of a sudden you have Sean Lipinovich, who probably out of this class spends the most time on this track. doing testing for us and then testing for some other people as well, my arms would pump up really bad.
Well, this is where the human body changes as we get older. We know these racers, they're not 18 anymore. They're still finely conditioned, but anything can happen. Right now, Alessi, the veteran, the accomplished racer, he's got to settle in because we're going to go 20 minutes plus 1 on this beautifully prepped racetrack. And Alessi seems to be finding his form once again, settling in to give chase as it doesn't look like Nicoletti's getting too far away.
Yeah, well, and we will have Boysen is putting up, Eric and Dog, the crew at Boysen is putting up something for the fastest lap. It might not be the leader. Right now, naturally, it is going to be Nicoletti with the fastest lap because he made it around the fastest. But there is a $500 fast lap for both of these motos to the rider that throws down the fastest lap, and it might not be the guy that wins.
Oh, great coverage here this morning. Hope you are loving it. Let us know in the comments. Big thanks to Achirby's. We saw their cam moments ago. Boysen for the fast lap bonus. You guys are awesome. All the great sponsors who make this happen. Support those who support your sport, ladies and gentlemen. They're the ones helping to bring this coverage. As look at the fanfare here at Glen Helen. They're waving hats. They're waving arms. And they are telling Mr. Nicoletti, keep it going. You got this thing. But boy, he's still got a long way to go.
Yeah, it's definitely, you get the jitters out on the first lap, and on this particular track, it's great. It's early in the morning here, so there's not a lot of shadows. You don't see, it's kind of lit pretty well. But like you come to the bottom of this hill, and a little bit later, there's already ruts developed, but that hill is going to be really gnarly in Moto number 2. I can contest to that. I've ridden here a lot, but even that, there's a big rut coming down off the top. So these guys, the drone footage here, the Boysen drone footage is amazing. Like our drone guys are on top of it, giving us that, race feel. And right now we're following Sean Lipinovich on his Sean Lipinovich backed KTM riding in FXR gear. So these guys are just kind of feeling each other out on the second lap, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure that they're seeing where the other guy's faster and what they can do.
Yeah, the gap seems to be about the same right now. We've settled into a steady pace. We'll see who makes a move. We'll see if Nicoletti gets rewarded for being aggressive so early up Mount St. Helens. As you said, it will continue to get more and more slippery as this day progresses. But my goodness, take a look at this aerial coverage of what has to be one of the most famous motocross facilities in the world, this renowned racing facility. The heart and soul of Southern California. Absolutely love this place and love this event. Take a look at the pits in the distance. I'm hearing more than 1,200 riders here this weekend, representing more than 20 countries. This is the biggest worldwide vet championship in the world, and you've got to believe Mr. White, who we unfortunately lost, who this was his vision, his brainchild, is smiling down from above.
Yeah, this event just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I know the Canadian guys have a huge presence here. They're right down on the other side of the starting gate, but a huge contention here, and it's great to see. I know that Tom White is looking down on this and definitely smiling. So, right now we're looking at, I believe this is about 4th place, but that's our buddy Giacomo Redondi on the gas battling out with a Honda guy, and that's Justin McDonald.
The battle for 4th. Lots of line choices here. Lots of real estate at Glen Helen Raceway. Justin McDonald, Giacomo Redondi out of Westchester, California, by way of Italy, representing Italy here in the World Cup Day Nations. Looking to leave here with as much hardware as he possibly can. A great performance by him. And this looks to be a great battle shaping up. Keep an eye on it. Look at this elevation. Not only is it going to test these motorcycles, it will test the fitness.
He's going for that inside line. Nice pass. Nice block pass right before the top of the hill.
Mark, you tell me, being out there, are the hills the best opportunity to pass?
They can be. If you make a mistake at the bottom of that hill, that you definitely can be a really good place to pass, because like we saw Nicoletti on the first lap, he just kind of charged. So, and then coming down the hills, you kind of let those brakes off and use a little bit more throttle at the downhill. You can make up a lot of time on this track in the hill section. Some of the flat turns are a good place to make up. This section right here, it's actually a lot more off camber than what you think. And you come down, and that's going to get really rough going into that turn later. This turn where you make the left and then kind of go up that hill, those guys are hammering that, and that gets really chewed up. But, yeah, then going into the back here where Giacomo clears that big tabletop and then heads into the back of the Arroyo Vet track, sometimes known as the REM track. But there is opportunities to pass in a lot of places. Some of it is one line, but Giacomo making a pass and then setting his sights. I think he's going to set his sights on Sean Lepinovich is the next guy in, and we're seeing Sean come back the other way. So Giacomo's got some work to do.
Great racing we're witnessing here at the W World Vet Motocross Championship. This is 30-plus moto number 1. It's Nicoletti, Alessi, Lepinovich, McDonald, Redondi, your top 5 as of now, with some fast guys coming up behind him. Philip Nicoletti laying down fast lap that time. Remember, we've got bonus money courtesy of Boysen. We want to thank them so much. $500 cash. A lot of racers, a lot of smart racers like your buddy Mike Brown cashing in on as many financial opportunities as they can here. And why not? We know cubic dollars is what certainly helps racing survive. And there is a lot of money up for grabs here this weekend.
Yeah, no. And then right now we're looking at Motocross Action's main test rider besides Josh Mosen, and that's Dennis Stapleton. I had the privilege of racing against him in the 40 class, and he actually edged me out a little bit. So it's kind of cool to see Dennis out there again in the 30 class. I think we have Chris Kiefer that's in that class. He's running 7th right in front of Dennis Stapleton. And then former test rider for us, Benny Breck, in 9th place. And then Alex Ray rounding out the top 10. So lots of heavy hitters here, and can't wait to see how it develops.
Oh, we got perhaps another pass. Hunting, lurking. I love how many lines there are here. This is certainly not a one-line racetrack. Appears to be 2, maybe even 3 out there in some places. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, no, there's definitely lots of lines. Like we said, some of the lines come together. Oh,
got him.
Somebody right to the inside of Stapleton. I can't believe he left that door open. He might be tired from his 40 race.
Chris Kiefer. Yeah, that's another thing, too, that a lot of these racers, that we talked about the financial opportunities, so a lot of these competitors entering as many classes as they possibly can. As we go back to our leader, this is Philip Nicoletti. And Philip, another guy running multiple categories here this weekend. Sometimes I just wonder, I know they train for this thing, and Phil isn't showing any signs of fatigue, but can you burn yourself out by maybe entering one too many classes?
Oh, yeah, you can. And that's, I know Phil's riding, he rode some classes, some not pro classes, some expert classes, and then did one of the Pasha 125 races. And so it's definitely, yeah, you can. The class that, or the way that the track is right now, it's probably the smoothest it's going to be all day. So their second moto is where the men are going to come out, because it's going to be rough. This is, it's a little rough, but it's probably the best conditions of the day.
And I just wonder at that point, does advantage shift to the local guys? The guys that are from around here, like Mike Alessi. We're taking a look at him right now, the California native on the 800. Sean Lepinovich behind him, who tests here week in, week out. We know that Glen Helen has a reputation as becoming one of the roughest, toughest tracks out there. Does advantage shift to the local boys when this place gets torn up, Mark?
You know what? You would think on a regular day it would, but the vet race, the track develops a completely different way, because you have old guys out there, and it's all old guys, and they come off the top of the hill and they hit the brakes right away. So you have braking bumps where there's usually acceleration bumps, and so it definitely, the track develops a way that it will never develop the rest of the year. So you got to ride the track different. So I don't think there's that much of an advantage when it comes to that. If anybody has advantage, it's this guy on the screen right now. Sean Lepinovich does a lot of testing for us here. He does a lot of his riding schools. He does a lot of stuff in general at Glen Helen. So if there's any kind of, backyard advantages, this is Sean's backyard. He spends more time here than I do.
Well, gotta love it. You know, that's what makes this facility so great. It's open so much. We talk about this crisis we're facing in the United States. We're losing racetracks, but we want to keep this one firmly planted here. And big shout out to Bud Feldkamp and his team at Glen Helen for making this place what it is. I'm being told we are halfway home. 10 minutes gone. This is when fatigue is really going to set in. Let's see who can hang on. Let's see if Philip Nicoletti can continue to pull away, or does Mike Alessi and Sean Lipinovich, who you just mentioned moments ago, have anything for him?
Well, Nicoletti continues to have that fast lap time, so nobody's been able to dethrone him from that. So looks like we might be handing him $500 after this moto for the boys in fast lap. Like I said, the boys in drone footage of this is awesome as we watch Mike Alessi go around the track with Sean Lipinovich right on him, kind of judging to see what he can do. And hopefully Sean can do a late moto push and kind of get up to his back wheel. But we see Nicoletti coming the other way.
And we're taking a look at fourth place right now. Giacomo Redonde, who won the World Cup des Nations in the 30-plus category, running multiple classes here this weekend. Giacomo doesn't look like he's tired from yesterday at all.
Yeah, and we know that Giacomo's not going to be tired. He's used to doing hour and a half races just to kind of warm up.
That's right.
So and off-road too. It looks like he even has a larger tank on that bike. So this might be the same bike that he raced. Yeah, it is. He's got a big IMS tank on that bike with a quick fill. So he's representing it for the Big Tank Mafia. So he's definitely running around in a solid fourth place. And you know, if he could get a little bit better start, there's no doubt that he can run with those guys up front.
He is set up to do an NGPC here, which we called earlier this year. That is a marathon. That's a 90-minute moto that Mark was telling you about. They'll get ready to run their finale next week in Lake Havasu. Giacomo is ready. So fitness not a problem for him whatsoever as this race winds down. We'll see if Philip Nicoletti can pull away. Real quick, again, I want to thank those who support this great live stream. W Wheels, Poison Factory Racing Parts, ADS Racing Shocks, AHM Factory Services, Pro Circuit, Glen Helen Raceway, Motocross Action Magazine, Dirt Bike Magazine, High Torque Magazine, and some really special sponsors here for Glen Helen: Yamaha, Toyota, and Pro Circuit. Big thanks to Bud Feldkamp, Lori Wilson, Chad Tucker, the whole team here making it happen, Mark.
Yeah, Pro Circuit is definitely, they have their Supercross track out here. They're not that far from here. They're definitely always supporting the Glen Helen, and we have to thank Mitch and Camila and her whole crew down there that runs the day-to-day at Pro Circuit. I know I get to deal with them a lot, and I'm pretty happy with that. I love going into Pro Circuit. If you haven't been to the Pro Circuit facility in Southern California, we were talking about this. I think next time you're in town, we're going to take you by there because you just geek out on all the two-strokes and all the championship bikes, and it's kind of a great thing. So it's definitely, you got to support the people that are supporting the sport. So walk around this place if you're at this place or you're seeing this live footage. Boysen, Pro Circuit, ADS, all the people that are here, they're supporting you, so give that support back when it's time to spend your money.
Well, Mark, I appreciate that very much. I'm going to hold you to that. I would love to see Pro Circuit, the home of the legendary Mitch Payton, everything he's done in this sport and continues to do in this sport. As we take a look at sixth place right now, this is the 190 of Dominic DeSimone out of Moreno Valley, California on the KTM. Another individual who I'm sure gets lots of testing opportunities here at Glen Helen.
Yeah, anybody local is going to come to Glen Helen at least a couple times a month.
That's what's so special about this place,
It's pretty amazing that Lori and the crew here at Glen Helen can put together so many high-level events every weekend. There is something going on here every weekend. If there isn't a race, they have practice for everybody. They got a truck track. They got quad stuff going on. They have stuff happening every weekend, and if you actually sit down and look at the amount of premier events that they have every year, it will blow your mind.
And this one right up there with the best of them. Can you believe this is the 40th year? This event that started a long time ago at nearby Paris Raceway. It moved here to Glen Helen in 1992, and it has just got bigger and badder ever since. 1,200 riders here. And I'll tell you who's getting bigger and badder and who appears to be gaining strength as this moto goes on, and that is the one and only Philip Nicoletti. Spry, agile, and fast. Clearly, he's been putting in the hours in New York. I don't know if he's been traveling a lot, spending some time here in SoCal. You may know, Mark, but he has certainly been twisting the throttle because he looks to be in tip-top physical condition.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet Phil for the first time. We're doing a lot of stuff with FXR, and he's in a version of the FXR gear, the FTA gear. But Milt, the owner of FXR, is here, and he actually built his own race bike in my shop, so it was kind of cool. And then Mike Brown was there building his race bikes, and Andy from FXR. So I hear that Phil is going to do a lot more of this stuff in the future. He's definitely retired, and he wants to just kind of have fun. I know that he came here with Jamie from Twisted Development, so I think this is somebody that we're going to start seeing a lot more of at these types of events after retiring from the national level. And it's kind of cool. You get to see these guys come in. I know we have Mike Brown doing a lot of this stuff, and so I think Phil's going to basically piggyback on what Mike's doing and have a little bit more fun, maybe make a little bit more money.
There's nothing wrong with that. We know cubic dollars is what it takes as Philip Nicoletti continues his stellar performance using every inch of real estate here at Glen Helen, getting everything out of that Twisted Development Yamaha. He certainly looks good in the elevation here as well. They've got that thing dialed in, looking great.
And the fans love Phil.
Oh, yeah.
You walk 10 feet with the guy, and he's got people wanting to take pictures of him and all. I didn't realize that. He's got a grumpy attitude or his persona. He's kind of not that way. He's all about the fans, all about really appreciative of everything. Definitely just a nice guy and a great guy for the sport.
It is. Interesting nickname, too, that kind of goes against that. Do you know his nickname?
Is it the Filthy Phil one?
Filthy Philip Nicoletti. That's not me calling him. As we've got the white flag for Filthy Phil Nicoletti on the Yamaha, the Blue Crew. Very, very excited about this one. Let's see if the 29 out of New York can hang on one more lap as his margin widens. In line for a $500 bonus from our friends Eric and all the guys at Boyson. Thank you so much for that. One more time around for Philip Nicoletti. Boom, into Talladega turn here as we go past our version of the Hollywood sign, Glen Helen. Love this place, Mark. I always make the case. I don't know if there's a more famous outdoor motocross track than Glen Helen in the world.
Yeah, we actually have people, especially contacting us at the magazine, going, "Oh, my dream is to come to Glen Helen," and we're blessed with the fact that we get to ride it all the time and get to watch guys like Phil Nicoletti and even top pros out here on a Thursday or a Tuesday practicing. So, like I said, multiple events going on here at Glen Helen all the time. I actually will admit that I kind of take it for granted that I get to ride this track all the time. But when you get to see people like Phil and people like Mike Brown come out and just make your lap times look ridiculous on this stuff, you kind of I'm here all the time, so
never take it for granted. I can tell you that, because it all depends on where you live. I know Phil's from New York. I used to live not that far away from him in Connecticut. I'm talking 90 minutes to the closest practice track. So you just never know. Whoa, almost seat bounced it right there. Suspension is on point for him, thank goodness. That would have been devastating on this last and final lap.
Well, and Alessi not that far off. Phil didn't get out there and just he got out there, got a comfortable lead, but we're seeing Alessi come down out of that canyon. So he got a comfortable lead, but not he can't slow down because Alessi is right there, and then I believe Lipinovic is right behind him. Giacomo moving into fourth, and then Justin McDonald in fifth.
So we'll see what happens here. Just a few more turns to go as Philip Nicoletti hopes to cement his place as winner, moto number 1 for the 30-plus Pro Sunday main event. We still got Moto 2 to come later on today. But right now, the man from New York appears to be the rider to beat here at Glen Helen.
He's coming into that final section, the Budds Creek area, to where he's got a couple more turns and then the straightaway, and he can rack that up as a a win on his Twisted Development back Yamaha YZ450 right now. And to return to the winner's circles for Yamaha, Doug Dubach being honored with the Edison die.
There it is. Checkered flag coming out for Phil Nicoletti. He takes it. And Alessi not far behind. Closed up a little bit there as well to be Sean Lapinovich in third. Giacomo Redonde in fourth. Justin McDonald going to come home with a fifth. Let's take a look at the Boysen results as we get you ready for certainly which will be a much anticipated Moto number 2. Now, Mark, take me inside the mind of a rider. If you're Alessi and you know that you had the speed, but you just missed out, what do you got to change here for the second moto?
The best part in motocross is a second is as good as a first. So he comes out, he wins the second moto, and he goes home with the big money and the big championship for the year. So, but it's definitely a really cool thing for Alessi. He's in the catbird seat.
Stay with us. The W World Vet Motocross Championship from GLEN HELEN Raceway. We'll be back right after this. The World Vet Motocross Championship is being brought to you by W, All Things Wheel.
Cody, so you've go even further back with Boysen, and now you've been testing. So what's it like, kind of that progression with Boysen, and then what's it like now with this new prototype of the rad valve?
Been pretty awesome. I mean, just to be part of the development of something new for Boysen is always an honor. We're on a Yamaha. Yamaha still continues to build the two-strokes. This bike has been a test bike for about a year. We're here today at Club. I think we finally got it, what we're going to put into production. It feels good in the hand. I mean, it just, when you open up that throttle, it's immediate response, and it just carries throughout bottom, mid, and top, and it's everything that you want for out of a 125, because as we all know, these things are a little slow out from the crate. Just the FMF pipe silencer and the Boysen rad valve, this thing's ripping.
Work to ride, ride to live. It's more than just a saying. It's a way of life. And when it comes to dominating the competition, there's only one name you need to know. Boysen. For nearly 50 years, we've been the centerpiece of American motocross and off-road racing, providing top riders around the globe with the factory advantage they need to win. We've spent decades perfecting our craft, testing our products in the harshest conditions imaginable, and pushing the limits of what's possible on two wheels. Visit Boysen.com today and experience the factory advantage for yourself.
The 40th annual Vet Motocross Championship here at iconic and historic Glen Helen Raceway, San Bernardino, California. My name is Jack Corpella from the Cycle Drag YouTube channel. So happy to be with you, and I'm really happy to be with the man sitting next to me because he is your winner. Moto number one. Congratulations, sir. Can I call you? Can I call you Filthy?
Oh, yeah.
Phil, I didn't want to make sure I had permission to call you that.
You can call me much worse things. I've been called it before, so it wouldn't be the first time.
How did you get the nickname? Let me jump in.
Steve Mathis gave it to me probably, 15 years ago. So Filthy just stuck, and I like it. It's got a good little ringtone.
Well,
Ringtone
congratulations.
to it.
I wanted to make sure that was okay. And let's make you real happy because not only did you win that first moto, well, courtesy of Boyson. Thank you so much, Boyson. We got $500
awesome
for the fast lap.
That's cool.
So
That's
big
very
congrats.
Cool. Thank you, Boyson. Appreciate it. $500 goes a long way for a retired guy.
Now, here's what I'd like to talk about. You have done so much in this sport. To come to this event that is designed for riders over the age of 30, how special is this? How important is this to you that we know careers don't end and you guys are still fast?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, I just got done with 18 years, and to come do this stuff and race Mike, like Mike to me is a world-class athlete. He always has been. He was a phenomenal rider and accomplished way more than I have in the sport. But to go as long as I did, and then to come out here and ride with everyone that loves moto as much as I do. And nowadays it's for fun. Like win or lose, I still get the booze, and it's fun nowadays. So I'm just taking it all in. I got to get used to the local vet race type vibes. I'm missing staging. I'm missing gate picks. I've gone off time for how many years? So I need to loosen up my program a little bit.
Now, tell me about that pass for the lead. It was a drag race up the hill. You took the outside line. It was very, very close, but it seems like your Yamaha is just hooking up in his dial.
Yeah, I mean, Mike rides a super fast bike too, so I just kind of went around the outside. I had a little more power, and, it's vet race, and, if he wanted to, he could probably run it in, but it's a good time. Like I said, if I win or lose nowadays, to me it doesn't matter. It's just being out with the older guys and having fun and having a passion for what we still love to do. So, but Jamie gave me a good engine. I'm back on a Yamaha this weekend. Had last-minute suspension changes, and I'm just riding bikes that I'm not familiar with. So it's hard for me to get accustomed to because after so many years, you ride a bike that's fit and tuned to your personality and your riding style. Now I'm just like riding a conglomerate of shit, so it's kind of like all thrown together. But again, I had a blast riding the 125 yesterday, and it's awesome. It's very cool.
Well, speaking of the bike being down, did you have a scary moment on the last lap, or did it just look a lot scarier to us? We saw it almost seat bounce a little bit over one of the jumps where it looked like, or was it? Were you okay?
No, I was okay out there. On the 450, I'm all right. Yesterday, I rode a bone stock KTM 150. The KTM guys gave me, and that had bone stock suspension and everything. I saw God a few times yesterday, so today I don't plan on doing that. I feel a little bit safer on the 450. So, but like I said, I'm having a blast, and it's very cool.
Well, big congratulations. We'll let you get ready for Moto 2. Anybody you'd like to thank for me?
Jamie from Twisted, he's taking care of me. He's my wrench this weekend, so it's really cool. The KTM guys for giving me a 150 yesterday. FXR, FTA for bringing me out. So I got a whole bunch of people that still support me, and like I said, this is a real last-minute thing. I decided to come out Monday morning and do this. So, like I said, it's all thrown together with a pile of shit, basically. So it's cool. I'm glad to be here.
Big congratulations, Filthy Phil Nicoletti. We'll see if he can get the overall later today. It will not be easy because there's a lot of talent here, a lot of tough riders, that is for sure. And we know that one man who certainly gave him a good go, another great accomplished racer who we're so happy to have here at the Vet Nationals, is the one and only Mr. Holeshot, Michael Lessing. Your nickname is not as offensive as Phil's, so I have no problem calling you Mr. Holeshot. Yes, congratulations, you lived up to it once again. You got that Holeshot. Take me through it.
Yeah, it was a good start. My Hoosier tire is definitely hooked up. I got that new HMX tire on, and it just hooked up great. Got out to a good lead, and Phil was riding good. He got by me, and then I just kind of settled into second. And then, believe it or not, my silencer broke with about 2.5 laps to go, almost 3 laps to go. And that bike was so loud, my ears were ringing so gnarly. And that pro circuit pipe just blew off the back of the silencer.
Wow, we did not know that. Oh, my goodness.
It was so loud. it was super loud.
All right, well, we know the old cliche. Mark Tilley was saying it up here in Moto number 1, 2 is as good as a 1. So you feel pretty good heading into the final moto that you might have a shot to catch him?
I feel good. I just don't know if my bike is going to be able to go because they just said that the bracket broke. So if we can't find a silencer, I might not be able to even allowed to race because obviously it's going to be way too loud. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, we got to sound the alarm. We got to get Mark Tilley out there because he's got a Rolodex. We've got machinists around here. This is SoCal. This is where all these parts are. We got to get you back in this thing. One thing I want to ask you before you go, just like Phil, you have done so much in this sport. You've been to the highest level. To come back to this event that kind of celebrates the older riders, what's the feeling like here? How special is this?
It's pretty special. You know, I kind of like relish on my career. It's been 2005 when Tedesco and I were battling for the title here, right in the iconic, right here at the finish line area where we came together. And I kind of sit back and think, and I'm like, wow, that was almost 20 years ago. I was going for a title when I was 16 years old. And that's just like unheard of and in today's world in a sense. But just like think about like the career and the guys I've raced, like Carmichael and Stewart, Chad Reed, obviously Villapoto, Dungey. I mean, I've had a really great career, and for my age, I still love racing, and I love coming out here and being with the fans. This is where I was born and raised in Simi Valley, California. So, you know, we live right up the hill in Victorville, only about a 25-minute drive. So it's like a home race for us. And obviously, I don't live in California no more. I live in Florida, where it's a little bit quieter. It's country land. I got 30 acres. My nearest neighbor is literally half a mile away, so I don't have any problems with my neighbors with riding and any noise. So, yeah, I got 2 little girls, 6 and 2, and that's kind of my focus. Get home tonight. I leave on a red eye, get back 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I know they're going to be excited when I get back from the airport and pick them up. And that's my focus now. We just celebrated 21 years together, my wife and I, and we got 2 little girls, and that's kind of like our focus now is just being a dad and doing my normal working job Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with my local riders that I work with, and just being a dad. That's pretty much it. That's my focus. And, you know, they always say once you retire, you kind of just drift away. And that's not me. Like, I still love training. I love working. And I think working with my kids at Okefenokee MX, you know, my job that I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think that's what keeps me kind of like in shape and still hungry and kind of like that motocross mentality and doing lap times and working with sections. And it's just a racer's mentality. And that's why it's hard to quit, you know, in a sense. You know, you never want to quit. And that's why I feel like I love coming out here to the Vet Championships and Two-Stroke National in April. So, you know, these are like my California getaway trips is in April and in November.
Awesome, Mike. Well, we really appreciate you being out here. It's great. I know you got a lot of fans here, so let's hope we get some spare parts, some mechanics on the bike, and let's get you ready for Moto 2. Good luck as you chase down Philip Nicoletti. Mike Alessi, ladies and gentlemen. This journey goes way too fast as he reminisces on some memories. Yeah, can you believe it's been almost 20 years since we watched Alessi and Tedesco battle it out as we welcome in a man who was very, very impressive out there. 3rd place run. Hooked up with Dirt Bike Magazine, Mr. Sean Lapinovich. So good to see you, man. Great job out there hanging with these legends of the sport. I was telling Mark Tilley, I'm like, you probably have a great advantage in that you have turned so many laps here. Do you think that worked in your favor?
Yeah, I'm pretty much here twice a week. I'm coaching a lot of riders on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I get to ride a little bit after. And yeah, I enjoy coming here to Glen Helen. This is my home track now. I live in Riverside, so it's about an hour away. And yeah, I'm here 2 to 3 days a week.
So being that you are so knowledgeable on this race course, what do you think you got to do here in Moto 2 to have an opportunity to run with Nicoletti and Alessi?
If I get to start, it would be a lot easier than getting roosted the whole time. But I could choose my own lines. But, I mean, those 2 were riding really good. Followed Mike around pretty much the whole moto. And I thought I was going to get him 2 laps to go. His silencer came off, and I thought he was going to lose a lot of power. But, no, the bike kept going and stayed right there in 3rd the whole time.
What's the key to getting the start here with such a long runway, Talladega turn? What is the key? What do you tell your students on how to get the whole shot here at Glen Helen?
I think it's confidence. I mean, I thought I was going to get the start, but me, Mike, and Nicoletti were all side by side going the first turn. It's just who didn't want to shut off. And I backed off just a little bit. I didn't want to go down in the first turn and settle for 3rd.
It's a lot of fun to watch. What gear do you get into on that start?
4th, sometimes 5th. Yeah.
Fourth, sometimes fifth on
a
the start.
450. So.
Man, that is awesome. Well, we really look forward to watching your race here in Moto number 2. Anybody you would like to thank before we let you go prepare?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dirt Bike Magazine, FXR, ODI, Backyard Designs, Alpine Star, CTI, 6D, Factory Ride, Hoosier, and GLEN HELEN Raceway.
Good luck to you. We wish you all the best. Can't wait. Moto 2 is awesome, guys. Don't go anywhere. Leave your prediction down below in the comments, and we will continue with the 40th annual W World Vet Motocross Championship here from iconic GLEN HELEN Raceway. Stay with us. The World Vet Motocross Championship is being brought to you by ADS Racing Shocks. Take control.
Boysen's Carbon Tech reeds are a family of custom tunable reeds. There's a light, mid, and high tension option that allows you to basically move the power around to suit your specific type of riding, bike, or location of where you're riding. Give Boysen a call. They can give you a hand sorting out what you need. They've got 40 years of experience with this.
Whether you're a professional racer or a weekend warrior hitting the trails, ADS has you covered. Like our direct fit control arms, sway bar links, panhard bars, and more. So what are you waiting for? Optimize your vehicle's off-road potential with a set of new shocks and some suspension upgrades from ADS Suspension.
Boysen Factory Racing. The lifeblood of moto and off-road since 1972. Because your performance is not defined by what machine you bring to the line. It's defined by how your machine has been prepared. Set your bike apart with the ultimate look in race performance. Become what you believe in. Become Factory Racing.
Welcome back to GLEN HELEN Raceway. We are getting set for Moto number 2. It is the W World Vet Motocross Championship. Jack Rapella, Mark Tilley here with you. Mark, what a Moto 1 it was. Can Filthy, Phil Nicoletti, and Jamie from Twisted Development, who you're looking at right now, put it together and go 1-1 on the day?
Yeah, he's got the pressure on him. He did the thing in the first moto, and it's kind of Alessi. It's time to step up and go after it. He's got second place in the first moto. That's as good as a first place when it comes to scoring. So if he gets that second place moto win, he's got it in the bag. But Sean Lepinovich coming in as a wild card. You never know what's going to happen. The wind's picking up. lots of hot racing action coming this way.
Storylines aplenty as we take a look at the Pro Circuit starting grid. Something to talk about, too, is we weren't sure if Mike Alessi would make it back up here. He was able to get another silencer, another Pro Circuit silencer, put his bike back together, and he says he will take a shot at taking down Filthy Phil.
Yeah, you can't count Mike out. Like, he's got so many laps around this track. He's got lots of racecraft. He's been doing this since he was 16 years old. Like he was saying in the interview before, working for a championship when he was 16 years old here back in 2002 or 2005, I think is what he said. So almost 20 years ago. Pretty phenomenal career for him. But he's got some heavy hitters with Phil and Sean right next to him. And then can't count out Giacomo Redondi right there. Giacomo gets a start. He's not going to get tired.
Yeah, it's amazing how much talent there is here, and what a show they have put on. I got to say, all these riders from all these different countries have not disappointed us with the horsepower theater that we've been able to watch. I hope each and every one of you are loving it out there in YouTube land on the Motocross Action Magazine. Remember, for live timing, you can check that out on the Glen Helen website. We hope to have that available for you at a future broadcast, but I really got to give this crew here a big tip of the cap and all these sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't have any live coverage at all.
Nothing's possible without them. And then, really, we're only showing you a very small portion of the races here. We got the track announcers that are doing a great job throughout the day doing stuff. Compared to them, we kind of got the easy job, and we announce a few races, and then we go home. But the track announcers here all weekend long and announcing every single race. And there is a race, if you're 25 or older, there is a race for you from beginner, novice, all the way up through expert and pro. So, again, the gate's stacked for the second 30-plus pro moto on that Pro Circuit starting grid, and we're ready for action.
It is go time. If you're not watching, if you stepped away to get a snack, time to come back to your device. Do us a favor and share this with a friend, because we are set to bring you the culmination of the 40th anniversary of the W World Vet Motocross Championship here from iconic and historic Glen Helen, just a few moments away from putting that card up in the air. Here it comes, Mark. We're closing in on a gate drop. I got to say, too, one of the coolest starts in all of motocross. These racers told us that they can hit fifth gear on this drag race of a stretch in the Talladega turn before they get set to go. And what did we learn from Moto 1? The first half of the track could be the most important part of the race. That's where we saw Nicoletti get past Alessi. It was a lead that he would not relinquish for the entire moto.
Yeah, and there's definitely a couple races that go into this. It looks like the 30-second board's about to go sideways, but you got the race to the first turn, then you got the race through that first tight section, and then you got the rest of the race as well. So that card goes sideways. We're about to see some racing action, and here we go.
Here we go, guys. We are racing into Talladega turn. Who will get the whole shot? Will it be Mr. Whole Shot? Mike Alessi again. It is the 800 out there in front. Can he hang on? Here comes the Yamaha to the inside as we've got tons of traffic behind him. Nicoletti wastes no time in making the pass. Does Alessi have anything for him? Can he counter? He knows you can't let him get too far away. Who's this all the way to the outside? That looks like the number 3 of, is that Mike Brown?
No, I think that's he's riding Mike Brown's bike, but that's Brady Sharon.
Okay, Brady Sharon on a Twisted Development Dirt Bike Magazine, 125, doing a tremendous job as Nicoletti races to the front once again. The question is, can anybody stop Filthy Phil? They've got 20 minutes to do so as he looks to go 1-1 on the day.
Yeah, that he's not riding Mike's 150. He's riding Mike's gas 450.
Thank you very much.
So that would be pretty impressive if he was on that 150.
I was going to say, there's too many bikes over there to keep track of.
He's going up that hill, but Mike decided that he wasn't going to race this race, and then we said, hey, we'll let you ride his bike. I think he broke his two-stroke in the first race battling with Stapleton.
So we've got Nicoletti followed closely by big thanks goes out to Dirt Bike Magazine for loaning us that Mike Brown machine. But look at Alessi, not giving up anything. Had to put a new Pro Circuit silencer on it, broke it in Moto number 1, and we're banging bars at the top of Mount St. Glen Helen. Look at the bumps. Look at how rough this track is getting. Freshly watered, but we told you conditions will deteriorate, and it will get tougher as the day goes on.
Oh, yeah. Now they're going to deal with not really bad dealing with all of the shadows, but they're going to have to deal with some of those shadows. And Alessi making that pass going into second place. Can he set his sights on Filthy Phil, or will he just be riding around for second?
Well, we know Mr. Holeshot would love nothing more than to leave with the win here. A 2-1 would do it in his old stomping grounds, now living in the Jacksonville, Florida area. Practices hard, trains hard, getting ready for the upcoming arena cross season is Mr. Mike Alessi.
Yeah, and he was telling us before the second moto, he was telling us that he is going to do some arena cross and go from there. And then we have the Sherby's POV camera right there coming over the finish line jump. Earlier we had them going up the hill, so now they're at the finish line jump. And then here's the Boysen drone cams that we got going on. And again, I can't get over this. This puts us right in the racing action.
Yeah, great job by our entire team here, taking us inside what is a thrilling and exciting Moto number 2 for the 30-plus category as Filthy Phil continues to pull away. Talked to him, too, between motos, and asked him what was his training like. He laughed at me. He said, I drank about 4 or 5 beers. That was about it. Doesn't sound like he put in a ton of training, though, and he's able to just show up and smoke the rest of the field. Very impressive.
Yeah, no, Phil's definitely, I think he's going to start doing a lot more of these races and making this happen. But it looks like from live timing and scoring, it looks like Phil's out front, and then Giacomo at some point in time might have moved into second place. We'll have to get a visual on that. But Giacomo Rodani might be up there doing a little bit of work off camera.
Well, as we always say, officially unofficial for now, what we see come across our computer screen, but we will give you the latest. We know 100%, though, the 2-9 out of New York, Phil Nicoletti, is running away once again as he hopes to go 1-1 on the day. Beautiful Club MX machine that they have down there as we now get a look at 18. This is who we believe to be Giacomo Rodani stepping up. Giacomo got something left after the World Cup. Apparently, he decided he wanted to go out here and mix it up and see if he's got enough speed for Nicoletti.
Well, and Giacomo, former Enduro World Champion, so the rougher conditions are going to basically come into his wheelhouse, and he's got his big tank on there, and we know he's not going to get tired. So, no. Filthy maybe having a couple too many beers or whatever, that Giacomo's going to be right there. That guy does not get tired.
That's what he's got a great sense of humor. I asked him in between motos, I said, was it tough out there? He said, halfway through, I was wishing I didn't have more than 3 beers last night. I shouldn't have gone all the way to 5. But nonetheless, we'll see. Giacomo is closing that gap, and Alessi in third, working his way up as well. Sean Lipinovich, fourth out there, a tremendous job. Got to visit with him between the break, too. What an effort he puts forth with all the students that he teaches here week in, week out.
Yeah, he's here all the time. Whether or not he's riding, he's got his SLMX school that helps out the kids. My kids have gone to it a couple times because they won't listen to me, so they're definitely doing some stuff. And like I said, he's here giving back to the sport and making things happen.
As we continue on, guys, here at the 40th anniversary of the W World Vet Motocross Championship, can Phil Nicoletti put together a dream performance? You got to love, too, how low the pressure is. That I don't think anybody on a factory team would be talking about how many beers they drank last night and bragging about it. Even though that may truly be the case, I don't think, no pun intended there, I don't think you would really hear about it.
Exactly. You definitely, it would be something that they do not say, even if they did partake in it. So it's definitely, Giacomo is going to keep Filthy Phil very honest throughout this whole thing, and if he can make up some time, he's going to.
It'll be 20 minutes plus 1. We're not even halfway home yet, but look at Phil. My goodness. Needs to get himself a Coors Light sponsorship if he keeps this up. Yeah. He is flying. Great job for the man out of New York. Also got to talk to him, too. It was interesting. The theme I asked all 3 of these competitors between the break was just how fast that motocross supercross ride goes. Talked about how NFL, they say not for long. It's pretty much the same thing here. These careers are so short, and these riders are so young when they enter that level of fame, that level of stardom. It passes by so quickly, and they all really relish and appreciate the opportunity that Glen Helen gives them to come out here and compete as vets.
Exactly, and there's a lot of one-off races that these guys can go to after they retire to do stuff if they want to stay in the sport. But, I mean, it's really, really cool that Glen Helen does put on a lot of these one-off events, and we're getting to see them live from now on. So, you know, again, seeing those boys in drone cams, it gets you right in the mix. And then we got Giacomo coming down, getting ready to go into the back section right there. He's not letting Phil let up. He's going to push him all the way to the end, and believe Alessi's behind that, Lipinovich, and then Brandon Scher on Mike Brown's Gas 450 that we let him set up and for himself and race his second moto.
Indeed, he is keeping him within his sight, and that will be interesting to see if Giacomo can get up there and challenge Phil. We didn't see Phil challenged in the first moto. A lot can change if you start hitting him with some pressure and showing him a front fender around some of these turns.
Yeah, well, and Giacomo can be a kind of a spoiler in that overall standings, because I believe he finished 4th in Moto number 1, and if he gets a second, he might be able to leapfrog some of the. He might be able to knock Lipinovich off of the overall podium.
Mike Alessi, the 800. He's done so much here in the States. He's also done a lot in Canada. As I said, getting ready for the Arena Cross season. As we take a look now at 4th place, this is the aforementioned Sean Lipinovich out of the Dirt Bike Magazine team, the trainer here, the coach, who is putting on a performance to be proud of for all of his students. Can you imagine class on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday when he says, yeah, I was out there. I podiumed in the 30-plus World Vet Championship.
Well, and he's the former winner of this event, I believe. I think he won this a couple years back. So imagine going to class in that when you come in and say that, yeah, I'm a former World Vet Champion. So it's definitely, and Sean, a great guy. Like I said, puts in lots of work for his kids. My kids have been a part of some of his teaching, and and he's a great test rider when we need him to do photo shoots. Showing up here with Ron Lawson at 6 o'clock in the morning to shoot on a bike. You can call him the night before and he's there. So it's great to see.
Well, that's what I love. I love the team that you have down here, and you just never know who's going to show up in Southern California. We saw Showtime Jeremy McGrath here last year on a 125. How cool was that? Hopefully we see Jeremy. We wish him all the best in his recovery. I know he's coming off an injury, so hopefully we see him back here real soon. As we take a look at 5th place right now, this is the 410 of Brandon on the KTM, doing a great job. Continuing down, Phil Nicoletti continues to extend his lead. Giacomo Redondi giving chase. The 800 of Mike Alessi behind him. Sean Lipinovich, Justin McDonald on the 201 moving up to 5th. Dominic DeSimone 6th now. Benny Breck 7th. As we take a look at this field, let's go back to the leader and check in on the gap.
That looks like that gap might be coming down.
Yeah, Giacomo closing in. I believe we're about halfway gone in this moto. Still 10 minutes of racing left.
I don't think that would change if Giacomo caught him and passed him. That wouldn't change the overall. Phil would still get the overall, but Giacomo would definitely move up on the podium for sure. So I think right now Giacomo has a podium finish because he would beat out Lipinovich with a better second moto finish.
You're taking a look high above this iconic and legendary race course. Thanks so much to everybody who has made this happen. Everybody watching at home, thank you guys. We do appreciate it. Hopefully many more of these to come. W Wheels, Boysen Factory Racing Parts, ADS Racing Shocks, AHM Pro Circuit, Glen Helen Raceway, Motocross Action Magazine, Dirt Bike Magazine, High Torque Media Group, and all the sponsors here at Glen Helen, Yamaha, Toyota Pro Circuit. You guys are the best. Thanks so much. And you know, we're not too, as Nicoletti looks back on his Yamaha, we're not too far from Yamaha's USA headquarters. I'm sure a few of the Blue Crew boys are out here enjoying every single minute of this here at Glen Helen.
Yeah, they're definitely here. They're here in force for sure.
and I got to learn a little bit more about that bike. Stock displacement. Jamie was from Twisted Development was giving me a tour, and he said this thing is legal to go into a 450 Outdoor Motocross National right now. He said it is a Club MX motor. It's the same setup. We do some different things. He was talking about some changes with the special piston that they have in here, the special rod that they have in there, but not too much different than what you would expect out of a factory Yamaha machine.
Yeah, no, and Jamie can make rocket ships. Like I've been able to just ride on bikes that he's tuned, and they're rockets. So, watching that downhill get more and more rough. We got Alessi hitting that top of that downhill and coming down. Looks like Giacomo kind of pulling it out a little bit on him. So see if he can bring it up a little bit closer to Phil and make a race out of this.
10 minutes gone as you take a look at the 800 of the one and only Mike Alessi, who's accomplished so much at this racetrack. Whoa. So great to us to see him still out there. That could be the fatigue factor setting in. Where I talked to Mike, I said, hey, what changes in your mid-30s vis-a-vis when you were 18 years old? And he said, you just got to be a little smarter. You got to train smarter. You can't do it like you did when you were 17, 18 years old. Look at the wind gusts, too. They've been known to get some hellacious wind out here that can create sandstorms. I remember I was a part of a few of those with the short course off-road track across where you would have to wear goggles just to see. You never know when one of those big Glen Helen wind gusts can come grab you.
Yeah, and when you crest the top of Mount St. Helens, a wind gust comes up, and that's probably what happened with Alessi that we just saw, but wind changes everything. It changes the track condition. It changes how you jump. It changes all of your riding style. And it will change, especially these guys at the age that they're at, the chances they're willing to take. So you see that big American flag flowing in the wind, and you got to watch out.
Yes, indeed, guys, as we are more than halfway gone as we race to a finish here at what has been an extraordinary, exceptional event at Glen Helen. Big hats off to this staff who has made it happen. We'll see if Philip Nicoletti can bring it home with the 1-1 as we take a look at the 505 right now. This machine, this is Sean Lipinovich, Dirt Bikes Magazine's own. I'm sure you've done a lot of riding with him, Mark.
Oh, I have, definitely. And what we got to really mention right now is Phil might be out front, but there is a Boysen fast lap. So the fastest rider, the rider that throws down the fastest lap in this race, it might not be the guy out front. It might be Sean throwing down a fast lap. Anytime in this 20-minute Pro Moto, they're running the lap times, and the fastest lap will get $500 cash. Whew. If you decide to give it to him,
If I decide to take it out of my back pocket and give it away.
It might only be $200.
You and I might be going out to dinner and run out of here. I don't know. Actually, with these tough guys, I certainly would not want to do that. We want to thank Boysen, though, for all the great support that they have given this, as well as all of our other sponsors. As we go back to our leader, high atop Glen Helen, look at the elevation here. I'd love to know how much attrition on the motorcycle for this particular track. A lot of outdoor tracks don't have this much elevation. Right here, 35 floors up Mount St. Glen Helen. That has got to take a toll on some of these high-performance machines.
Oh, yeah, no, and you can tell the difference between the tires that you're running. When the start of the weekend, I was running a Dunlop MX-34 and switched over to the MX-14 paddle tire, and I had to hold the clutch in to try to get that front end down of going up that hill when you had the paddle tire on. So a bunch of little things can make huge differences, especially at the guys at this level, the guys at this speed with this kind of talent. They feel a little bit off, even a little bit of confidence off. And that will be the difference between first and 10th.
Well, right now, the difference between Phil Nicoletti and Giacomo Redondi is about 3-4 seconds as Giacomo's not giving up, but Phil looks oh so tough. Very interesting, too, that Phil was a last-minute ad. It was a last-minute decision for him to enter this race. Jamie from Twisted Development told me, he's like, I really wasn't sure if he was coming or not. He said, let's do this thing, and, boy, he's making that trip pay off.
Well, and Giacomo can see him now. It's a lot, when you can see the guy, it's a lot easier to kind of twist that throttle a little bit more. And like we said, he's not going to get tired. So Giacomo is just kind of getting into his rhythm right now, so this could come down to the final laps because he is gaining on it.
Well, and Giacomo knows he's running out of time. If he's got any tricks up his sleeves, this is the time to do it. Still a pretty hefty gap. Where do you think is Giacomo's best opportunity to make up time on Phil?
I would say in the rougher stuff coming down the hills, because it's really easy to let off, especially later on in the moto. Phil's going to have really good corner speed just from his national experience. So, and they're both triple in that. That's pretty impressive. But I think it's coming down the hills in that maybe Giacomo might be a little bit more used to the higher speeds with the off-road stuff that he does. But, I mean, Phil's got a pretty good bag of tricks himself, so it's going to be kind of hard. I mean, if you're making up time on somebody like Phil, you're going all out. And Giacomo's not going to leave anything on the track, that's for sure.
And, Mark, look at the gap from second to third. We've still got to fight to the finish, but Phil and Giacomo have totally checked out on Mike Alessi and crew. They are way, way behind. But Giacomo, I think you nailed it, Mark, with the uphills and downhills. This is where Giacomo seems to close in. Phil did a really good job pulling away on the more technical stuff. Let's see if Giacomo is able to gain any ground going up the hill.
Well, and you can see Phil going back and forth. He's going back and forth trying to figure out, look for this, and then he's going on the other hill. He was going far to the left. On the second hill, he's going right down the middle. So he's looking for lines. This is national caliber motocross at its finest right now.
Phil currently with the fast lap. Giacomo knows if he's got anything left, now is the time. He has to go. He has to close this gap. He has to start applying pressure. For Phil, he knows just hang on for a few more minutes.
And Phil knows he's there. Like he hasn't gotten to the point in this sport and to the level that he's at, not knowing when somebody's back there. He wouldn't be pushing this hard right now if Giacomo wasn't there. And he knows he's there, and he can almost feel it.
Phil clearly wanting to make the long trip from New York pay off. This would have to be one of the greatest moments of his long career if he could get the win here at the 40th W World Vet Motocross Championship. Phil appeared to be slowing down just a little bit around that corner, maybe using a little bit of caution as this track continues to get rougher. Some of those berms, just unbelievable.
And we'll see when he comes in, and when he rounds this left-hander, we might have the white flag coming out.
And you called it, Mark Tilley. We are on the white flag lap for the 29. One more time to go. Giacomo Redondi, if you got anything, now is the time. But Phil certainly not giving anything up. But look at that gap. Giacomo I'd say he picked up a couple seconds right there.
Yeah, well, and you can see the line selection of Phil. He was going a little bit wider coming into that turn, missing some of those bumps. So I wonder if Giacomo's keeping up on that. But, man, he's got a little bit of a gap. Unless Phil makes a big mistake, I don't know if he's going to be able to get him.
Well, Phil's really strong here. He seems to pull away a little bit in Talladega. And, wow.
Yeah,
very,
and then coming back through this tighter section, he seemed to be a little bit. You saw a little glance back right there to checking up, see what he can do. But he looks great out front on that Twisted Development Yamaha and backed by the guys at FXR.
What's the key here when Glen Helen really gets rough and torn up? What's the key to staying on two wheels?
It's doing exactly what he's doing. If you see what he's doing, he's moving around. He's selecting lines. He's picking and choosing. Like that drone cam is amazing right there. But so you saw him come down on the far left-hand side there, and then going up, he's going to move over, see how he goes over, and then finds a clean line up there, and then works his way back. And then coming down this hill, he's going to go right down the middle. And that's where the smooth line is. His bike's not dancing around. It's
lap traffic.
Yeah, it's finding those lines that
I don't think the lapper knows he's there. I don't think the lapper got the blue flag. Whoa. Yeah, you can see Phil looking. Come on, man. Absolutely. 47, they're trying to tell him, hey, there's a battle and you're not in it.
Yeah.
That could have slowed Phil down just a few seconds. I don't think he appreciated that.
Yeah, and his adrenaline spiked right now because he's on the last lap. He doesn't want to lose any time. Every second you lose feels like 10 or 15 seconds.
But I'll tell you this: Giacomo Redondi has disappeared. Oh no, he hasn't. Was that him coming or was that the lapper? I think that was. If that was him coming, He's not too far back. Yes, Giacomo has closed in a last chance effort here as we hit the final few turns of the 40th WO World Vet Motocross Championship. It is the 30-plus moto. Phil Nicoletti leading Italy's Giacomo Redondi. This is it, Mark. Does he have anything up his sleeve? That it sure is. He's cranking it up,
now it's just going to take
guys.
a little mistake.
A few more turns left to go before we bring it home. Can New York's Yamaha mounted Philip Nicoletti bring home the checkered flag? Giacomo has really closed that gap. One more turn to go. A fistful of throttle and say hello to your winner of the 40th WO World Vet Motocross Championship, Mr. Phil Nicoletti. And what a great battle.
I believe that second place from Giacomo will put him in third place on the podium. Again, unofficial, but I believe Lipinovic went 3-4, and then Giacomo went 4-2. So that might be a little bit there. And then you see him downloading everything with Twist and Development, but I think it's not official yet. But it is official. Phil Nicoletti will be the Boysen Fast Lap winner, doing it both motos in a row, and $500. That's $1,000 cash to Phil Nicoletti for running the fastest lap.
Wow, big congratulations to him. What a great show. Giacomo Redondi closed the gap. Mike Alessi did a great job as well. We're going to hear from them when we return. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll hear from our winner when the 40th Annual WO World Vet Motocross Championship continues here from Glen Helen Raceway. The World Vet Motocross Championship is being brought to you by AHM Factory Services, providing factory-level services for all your suspension needs.
All right, Cody, so you've go even further back with Boysen, and now you've been testing. So what's it like, kind of that progression with Boysen, and then what's it like now with this new prototype of the rad valve?
It's been pretty awesome. I mean, just to be part of the development of something new for Boysen is always an honor. We're on a Yamaha. Yamaha still continues to build the two-strokes. This bike has been a test bike for about a year. We're here today at Club. I think we finally got it, what we're going to put into production. It feels good in the hand. I mean, it just, when you open up that throttle, it's immediate response, and it just carries throughout bottom, mid, and top, and it's everything that you want for out of a 125, because as we all know, these things are a little slow out from the crate. Just the FMF pipe silencer and the Boysen rad valve, this thing's ripping.
Boysen's Carbon Tech reeds are a family of custom tunable reeds. There's a light, mid, and high tension option that allows you to basically move the power around to suit your specific type of riding, bike, or location of where you're riding. Give Boysen a call. They can give you a hand sorting out what you need. They've got 40 years of experience with this.
Experience the ADS advantage. Whether you're a professional racer or a weekend warrior hitting the trails, ADS has you covered. See, ADS doesn't just build world-class race shocks. We can also outfit your off-road rig with billet suspension components like our direct fit control arms, sway bar links, panhard bars, and more. So what are you waiting for? Optimize your vehicle's off-road potential with a set of new shocks and some suspension upgrades from ADS Suspension.
Work to ride, ride to live. It's more than just a saying. It's a way of life. And when it comes to dominating the competition, there's only one name you need to know. Boysen. For nearly 50 years, we've been the centerpiece of American motocross and off-road racing, providing top riders around the globe with the factory advantage they need to win. We've spent decades perfecting our craft, testing our products in the harshest conditions imaginable, and pushing the limits of what's possible on two wheels. Visit Boyesen.com today and experience the factory advantage for yourself.
These riders put on in the 30-plus category. I loved every single minute of that, but we got to give it up to the man on the Yamaha out of New York, the one and only Filthy Phil Nicoletti. You did it again. One on the day, and my producer keeps yelling in my ear, give him the money, give him the... It's going to hurt me to take this out of my... They actually let me put this in my pocket for a little bit. But thank you, Boysen. We really appreciate it. There's some travel money to get you back home to New York for the Boysen Fast Lap. How did you get the Fast Lap 2 motos in a row?
I don't know. Giacomo was hounding my butt, so I kind of had to shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? So it was good, though. It's that track's not vet friendly, I can tell you that right now. So that's kind of one of the gnarlier things I've ridden this year. So typical Glen Helen, 3 o'clock on a Thursday practice day. But it was good. Did what I had to do and just kind of rode it in.
It seemed like towards the end there, the gap was starting to close a little bit. Did you know you had it? Were you starting to fade a little bit? Was it Giacomo closing in?
No, I knew he was there, but the problem, I don't know where you can really pass out there. It's all pretty one line inside. So, it was okay. Just maintained the race, but he rode really, really well. So I was just wish he would have given me a little bit of gap so I could have breathed a little more out there. So I'm a little hungover from last night, to be honest with you. A couple too many beers. I thought I was doing a vet-friendly day. I guess not.
Well, there you go, folks. I mean, now they know I wasn't kidding. We were talking about your sports drink last night, but that is the spirit of this event, right? You guys lived in a very pressure-filled environment for many years with Supercross and Motocross. The spirit of this event, everybody wants to win, but you're out here having a good time too, aren't you?
Yeah, I got to work on the nighttime activity now, so it can. I need a good blend, nighttime activity and race day. But like I said, I didn't know I was going to have to ride this hard today. I know everyone's fast, but just to be on my A game, because the track is super tricky with the shadows and the square edge. Yeah, I'm going to say I wasn't a fan of the track, but it is what it is. We got it done, and like I said, Boysen, extra $500 helped. So they helped me a lot when I was a kid growing up, so it's pretty awesome.
No doubt. What's next for you, Phil?
I don't know. Oz Open, hopefully at the end of November. That's the plan, and I'm just kind of winging it. Like I said, coming out here was a last-minute decision. I decided Monday morning to kind of throw some stuff together, and we're here. So I had a blast this weekend hanging out, a lot of fans. It was a pretty surreal weekend. So might have to put on the list next year to come back and attend again. So
we want to hold you to that because we want to see you here. Who would you like to thank before we let you get out of here?
First and foremost, Twisted Development. Jamie Ellis helped me this weekend. He got away from his family and his kids and came out here to spin spanners for me. So it's pretty awesome. And KTM for giving me 150 yesterday to ride. So that was a big event for me. And then FXR, FTA, 60 helmets, Motorsport. I have so many people. Alpine Stars, Club MX, Pulpa Max. A lot of good people throughout the years helped me. So this is a fun cherry on top for the year.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations. Best of luck. We do want to see him next year, guys. Congratulate him. Hit up his social pages. That is the one and only Filthy Phil Nicoletti, 1-1 in 30+. What a great performance by him. He dominated Glen Helen, but he talked about how rough and tumble that track was. It took everything out of these vets, all the conditioning, all the training, everything, all the experience, all the talent, everything they possibly had. As we bring in another individual who I'm very, very proud of here today, did a tremendous job. Second overall, the one and only Mr. Holeshot, Mike Alessi. Congratulations. Now, last time I left you, you weren't sure if you were going to make Moto2 because of broken silencer. Not only do you make Moto2, you're sitting here second overall. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was good. The guys went back to the house and just went and got me a new pipe and silencer, so that was awesome.
What's it mean to you? I know you and I were talking in between motos, all the memories, all the history. It was 20 years ago here that you're battling for a championship. Everything your family's done at this great facility. To come out here at your age and still get it done, how precious is that for you?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is getting back to my wife and my girls back home and going to school tomorrow, taking them to school, picking them up. That's my life now, is just being a dad and being a husband. That's it. That's my focus. And, working with my kids during the week at my job. And that's my focus these days, for sure.
Well, it's great. It's great to see a lot of Alessi fans out there, too. We saw them waving and cheering you on and saying, go, go, go. So they are definitely still out there. And we know that you have something very, very big coming up with Arena Cross. Yeah. Why don't you tell us what's going on with your program?
Yep, Arena Cross starting next weekend, Tennessee. So that should be fun. I'm excited for it. The TriStar Series right there in the Southeast. So it's nice and close to me in Florida, so it makes the drive a lot easier.
Excellent. Great job, man. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
First, I just want to thank all the fans for supporting it, and Pasha, big time, for having me out this weekend and riding his 150 yesterday. That was pretty freaking sweet. That bike was awesome yesterday. Obviously, viral Alpine Star gear, boots and helmet, and I'm looking for a gear sponsor right now. I don't have one, so this is just gear from Canada back in 2018. So I just ironed off all the logos and just ran it, So it is what it is, and not a lot of sponsors, but, we just get it done, and that's it.
Well, you keep finishing like this, you're going to have a lot of sponsors. You might have to hit up Mr. FXR, too, because I'll tell you what, that gear is looking good.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm just happy that I got 4 out of 4 hole shots this weekend, 2 yesterday, 2 today, so starts are on point, definitely. Today the track was extremely rough, and I wasn't comfortable with the track and the bike. The setup just wasn't right, so it is what it is. We went 2-3 for second overall.
Great performance nonetheless. Mr. Holeshot, congratulations. Have a safe trip back to Jacksonville, Florida. Guys, make sure you follow him as he gets ready for Arena Cross coming up next week. Off-season? There's no off-season, right? A lot of these individuals, they are riding day in, day out, week in, week out, as we bring in a gentleman who really, really impressed us today. When you talk about who put on the best performance overall, this is a gentleman who certainly has to be in the discussion because he absolutely dominated earlier in our World Cup race and then shows up here and really, I'll tell you, makes the NGPC crew proud and all the off-road people proud because Mr. Giacomo Redondi, congratulations, 3rd place. Where did all this extra speed come from here in this second moto?
No, actually, the first moto I got a really bad start, and I finished, I think, 1 second from Alessi, that was 2nd overall, and Lipanovic was 3rd, but I didn't make it happen. Second moto, I got a better start, and I went around Lipanovic and Alessi, and then was trying to follow Nicoletti, but he was very fast, and luckily, 2 laps to go, I think he hit one lapper in one of the downhills, so I gained a little bit more ground, but I think he's still heavy. He was playing a little bit with me, but I was pushing very hard, and I think was a super awesome battle to watch.
Well, overall, you have to be very pleased with your performance. And it's kind of cool behind you. We can see all the flags. This really is a true international event. There's your flag right there. You proudly represented your country. Team Italy, just this much short of Team Canada. How much does this give us to look forward to, this rivalry between Canada and Italy? This is fierce. I love it. I heard even one gentleman on your team challenged, but luckily it was all verified that he was okay. Yes. I mean, this is a hot and heavy rivalry, isn't it?
He gave everything yesterday. Our 50-plus guy, he was a little bit tired today, but looking forward for a strong comeback next year. Maybe try to get on the top step on both or 3 classes because will be awesome to win one. Like last year we won the cup and I missed the 125, and this year happy to be 3rd on the 30-plus pro and looking forward for next year.
You did a fantastic job. Will we see you in Lake Havasu next weekend with the NGPC? Can't wait for that. Who would you like to thank here before I let you go?
I want to tell Mark to be ready.
Mark Tilley, you have been put on notice, my friend.
I will see you Saturday, my man.
Well, Giacomo, congratulations. A great performance, guys. Let him know about it in the comments. Proudly representing Team Italy, and he will compete next weekend, NGPC. We'll see you there in Lake Havasu. There is no rest for these competitors. Mark, you've been called out, my friend. You have been put on notice, and no rest for these guys. We're going right into another race.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going right into another race, and I don't know if I got anything for that young man. He's definitely a lot younger than me and a lot faster than me, and especially at Lake Havasu, he can have it. But a great event here. Thanks again for everybody involved with the World Vet Motocross. The guys, everybody at W, big shout out to Tom White for coming up with this concept 40 years ago and being such a visionary in the moto industry. And to all the athletes that were here, all the families that are here supporting the athletes, just a great event, and I'm looking forward to next year.
I had a great time with you, and I had a great time out there in YouTube land. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, all of our sponsors, W Wheels, Poison Factory Racing Parts, ADS, AHM, Pro Circuit, Glen Helen Raceway, Motocross Action Magazine, Dirt Bike Magazine, High Torque Media Group, Yamaha, Toyota, Pro Circuit, everybody who makes it happen, Bud Feldkamp, Lori Wilson, Chad Tucker, you guys are awesome. Ross Fitz Productions, Kelly, James, the drone crew, Trevor, Aaron, all you guys rock. Thank you so much. For Mark Tilley, I'm Jack Corpella. We'll see you next week in Lake Havasu. So long, everybody.